I'm Doug Brown. Fernando Tatis Jr. hurt his left shoulder on a violent swing 10 days ago, but the Padres are hoping to have their shortstop back tomorrow against the Dodgers. Tatis has had recurring issues this season with that left shoulder. The Padres get out to a quick start today against the Pirates in Pittsburgh.
Here's a 1-2 again, and Manny hits it in the air down the left field line. Reynolds going back, looking up, gonna go! A 2-run homer for Manny Machado here in the first inning. Tucked it inside the foul pole down the left field line. It's a 3-run first and a 3-0 lead.
Jesse Agler on 97.3 FM. The Fan. Machado drives in 3, and the Padres win 8-3. Elsewhere today, the Braves beat the Marlins 7-6. The Mariners sweep a doubleheader in Baltimore 4-2 and 2-1 over the Orioles. The Indians beat the White Sox 4-2 in Chicago, and the Twins stopped the Red Sox 9-game winning streak 4-3 in Minnesota. Cubs reliever Ryan Tepera gets a 3-game suspension for throwing at Brewers pitcher Brandon Woodruff on Tuesday. By rule, Cubs manager David Ross gets a 1-game suspension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports for the second year in a row, the NFL schedule will not be released until after the draft, which starts 2 weeks from tonight in Cleveland. The Falcons sign return specialist Cordero Patterson to a 1-year deal. He is a 4-time Pro Bowler. At the Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony on May 15th, Michael Jordan will present the late Kobe Bryant. More than 50 Hall of Famers are expected at the ceremony.
It's Greeny, and Friday we continue to count it down towards the draft with Dan Orlovsky and Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly among my guests. Don't miss it. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
Isn't this a sports show?
Also, if you listen on the app, you get the X-rated Sirius XM coverage where they curse. You ever want to hear Kevin Harlan say, "Oh, he bleeping missed it"?
Almost entirely.
None of that's true, except for some people who listen on the app and the website. That is true.
Jordan Purdue, bleep yeah!
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Put the bleeping hammer down!
Rock chalk it the bleep up!
Take the show with you by listening on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app at 810WHB.com or by searching for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
What else are we missing? What else can we go to?
Oh, I'm trying to think of like famous calls.
Yeah, me too. Do you believe in miracles? Holy bleep!
Dang it!
Is that yours?
Yeah!
This is Almost Entirely Sports on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I think today is really going to be the day. I think this is really going to be the show where we get really into the weeds on the NFL draft.
I don't know.
Now, there's still plenty of chances that we'll be completely derailed by something.
I already got something.
Really?
Yeah.
I already have something also. Can I go first? Mine's a quickie.
Yeah.
I can see on the monitor in the studio in here that my under my eyes looks especially shiny today.
Yeah.
Through the camera and everything.
Really looking like one of your marsupial buddies.
Yeah. I've got full on like raccoon eyes, except for the shiny. Because I'm just today was one of the days where I think it was noon when I started going, all right, we're putting the eye drops in, we're taking the there's a little I have a little vial of cream in my bag, which is specifically for like you like put it under your eyelid and it's like a sty cream or something. I don't know. It's for when you get like, I don't know, just like aggressive irritants in your eyes. I'm used to having aggressive irritants in my ears, and I'm used to putting aggressive irritants into other people's ears. But eyes are a different story. So I just noticed really for the first time, like my eyes on the video stream, which you can watch on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube channels. They're looking gleaming today, shimmering today. But my eyes feel okay, and I'm going to try very hard to not touch them over the course of the show. What is your distracting thing, Rudy?
And this is something that actually...
Rudy Salazar, you can follow on Twitter at @NotThatRudy.
We've known about for a while, but it was just somebody just reminded me of it today. We never talked about it, I don't believe. A-Rod and J-Lo.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was talked about like a month ago, but like I think it was today maybe where it was official. Like they officially ended their 2-year engagement.
We are going to talk about that.
Has it already been 2 years?
It has, Beards.
We are going to talk about. Is that true?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's 2-year engagement.
Now,
they were together for longer than 2 years, just
They were
engaged for 2
2
years. Yeah.
There are two aspects
Big fans of The
that.
Office, those two.
There are two aspects of that we're going to talk about specifically today, because you're right. I wanted to talk about it a couple days ago. But I don't know if you saw A-Rod's Instagram story today. And
Trouble
if you
in Minnesota already?
If you didn't see it, I'll go into some detail later on with what he was posting, because he's down bad right now.
Anthony Edwards should slide into J-Lo's DMs. If he's not happy with life in Minnesota, just slide in the DMs, Anthony.
Can you imagine?
Any player that wants to get out of Minnesota, you just slide in J-Lo's DMs.
Who's that, Carl Anthony Towns?
Trade it fast. Carl Anthony Towns is so happy, Beards. What are you talking about?
This is a good
thrilled.
idea. And that's Beards McFly. You can follow him on Twitter at Beards McFly. Now, Beards, last night, Rudy talked about how he bit his cheek so hard that he thought he was going to have emergency surgery. I burnt my lip
Still
on
a little sore, actually, too.
I burnt my lip on a s'mores Pop-Tart 2 days ago, and I now feel okay. Beards, why don't you say what happened to you today? Because currently, go ahead. You say what happened.
I sneezed too hard, and I think I tweaked something in my neck. Yeah.
When I went into the control room right before the show to deliver Beards' Dick Justice plushie and goatee, the goat mascot, both of which sit in the control room, as opposed to the stuffed animals that sit on the console in here, I went to throw them to Beards, and he turned towards me like Christian Bale in Batman Begins, before Batman's cowl had been like disjointed from his neck, Yeah. And everything was just one piece, kind of fused together, like the George Clooney Batman.
Yeah, when he had to turn in the whole. There wasn't a lot of flexibility in that suit.
You turn your face by fully twisting your torso.
Yeah.
Beards just like turned his chair to look at me, and it was remarkable.
I will say it is better than it was earlier today. I actually went to the chiropractor and it helped a little bit. It's not fixed, but hopefully I don't sneeze again.
Huh. Beard's just making that chiropractor money, I see.
Beard sneezed so hard.
Emergency session.
That's why I didn't try to get a Top Shot pack today, because he was spending those $15 on a chiropractor. Beard sneezed so hard that he hurt his neck.
In the alley, by the office, and just, hey man, can you just kick me a few times, see if that helps? It usually doesn't, but we try.
And I do appreciate your business. Beard sneezed so hard that he bleeped up his neck.
Yeah.
Rudy bit his cheek so hard that he was struggling at the microphone to get to the microphone yesterday. I burnt my face on a Pop-Tart.
They're not a hard time moving today. The back is not good. It's not in good shape today.
How is this show older than the program?
I'm going on the DL probably this weekend. I think I've talked about this on the show before. So frequently on weekends I will go help my old man out. Helps me make a few extra bucks. He's been working. He's had his own construction company for 30 years now. So his body's starting to break down, right? Also, make sure he doesn't fall 20 feet, fall off some 20 feet in the air and nobody's around.
Yeah,
because that's happened.
Yeah,
more times than you would like it to be.
Probably so.
So it just make sure helps him out. Make sure somebody's there. Helps his week out.
Yeah.
I called him today. I was like, Dad, I'm gonna be honest with you. I might be out on Saturday. And thank God he said, well, it looks like it's going to be raining most of the day, so we're probably not working. I was like, woof.
This And now I get winded going up 2 flights of stairs. Welcome to the show, everybody.
We're old.
Our collective age is like probably 80-ish, and it feels like we're all 80. And I just can't imagine that the next decade's going to be kind to any of us.
You think I'm going to be around for a decade?
Well, it's going to be especially unkind to you because your decade's going to stop partway through. How far through? No one knows.
You say unkind. I say optimistic.
Merciful? Merciful. Maybe it'll be merciful to you if you perish earlier than later.
I mean, I guess it just depends. What's next, right? Like, here's the thing. You know how they say curiosity killed the cat? That's probably going to be what gets me because I'm just curious what happens next. Like, what happens? I just want to know.
What happens is that your body slowly breaks down until you die.
But does my spirit, like, go into Netflix heaven where I just watch Netflix for the rest of eternity? I don't know. Can I just, like, haunt a house where I can, like, just watch their Netflix for the rest of eternity? Because that sounds pretty good. I don't remember what show or movie it was, but basically the ghost, like, sometimes you can interact with physical objects, and I remember watching it. It might have even been an episode of Supernatural. I just remember thinking to myself, if I could just be a ghost who just was able to hold the controller, man, that would be pretty good. I could just, like, if I could just turn on Netflix, if that's the only thing I could ever, like, have physical contact with, that'd be a pretty good eternity, honestly.
Is that the right answer? If we're going to talk about Tevin Jenkins later, if you were a ghost, yeah, and you could only have a physical interaction with, like, one object, or I would even say maybe type of thing. Like, yeah. I think you can make an argument for a computer, like a laptop, you know?
For sure.
A TV remote. Maybe it's a phone that you could use. Maybe you can connect that up with the Roku.
Yeah.
Is it food? If I'm going to haunt eternally, I'd like to be able to taste,
but
you
see,
know?
the thing, I don't know if you'd be able to taste it, though.
I mean,
did you ever see Casper? Now, I don't know if they ever addressed the tasting aspect, but the food just goes right through them, lands on the floor.
Good point.
And that doesn't look good. It's not appealing. But if I could just grab controllers of any sort, right? Like, I guess that would be my thing. Just,
you get a little video game controller in there.
So I can turn on the TV, I can turn on Netflix, I can play the PlayStation 10. Like, I'm good. And honestly, it sounds like that doesn't sound like the worst eternity ever.
No.
And, like, I'm not really out here trying to, like, haunt people. Like,
right.
I'll let the people who live with me, I'll let my roommates, like, I'll be nice to them. I'll be courteous. I'm not going to be loud.
You'll figure out a way to, you'll keep the volume down whenever you turn on the TV at 2 a.m. Like, you understand. You're also not going to change the channel whenever they're watching.
Of course not.
The big game.
It's theirs.
They're watching their soaps or whatever. I got it when they go to
work and when they go to bed.
Exactly.
There's plenty of time for me.
Exactly.
And now I'm not out here trying to be Rudy the friendly ghost, but I'll be Rudy, hey, he's a solid roommate ghost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll be Rudy he doesn't eat the food that's labeled with my name on it ghost.
Right.
Like, I'll be cool.
You'll eat from the food that's on the top of the refrigerator in the demilitarized zone. It's a free-for-all. And
we'll have rules. We'll have boundaries.
The roommate brings a guest home and says, "Oh, don't worry, I've got a roommate, but you'll never see him."
You'll never see him.
And, like, I'm not gonna go in and bother them in those moments.
Of course not.
I'm gonna respect my ground. Respect my privacy.
You're not gonna be a pervert ghost.
I'm just gonna be Rudy hey, he's like a pretty good roommate ghost.
And, sometimes maybe if things go well, maybe you'll pull a little prank here or there. Maybe maybe you'll go in and knock something off the shelf, but not something breakable.
No.
Not the urn that it has their grandma's ashes.
Of course not.
Just like a Funko Pop to bring a full circle from last night. That's all.
Just little things.
You're not gonna kill the cat or cook the cat, but maybe you will move the litter box one time.
Take a laser pointer and point
That's
at people.
perfect.
That's who's been doing that.
That's perfect. Anyway, that's how old we all are. Because also, if you're a ghost, you can't have back pain. I guess.
Nice.
I don't know. Or allergies.
That sounds nice.
You know what I want to not have an interaction with whenever I'm a ghost? Pollen. Just let me escape pollen.
You're a ghost who only can interact with pollen.
Oh my goodness, a fate worse than death.
I was gonna say, now that is your own personal hell.
That's hell for me. Hell for me is that I can only
You're just stuck in a pollen field.
I'm left to haunt a pollen field, and the only media anywhere near me is just the most straight up and down national overnight sports talk radio. where it's just nothing but Justin Fields takes for 3 hours every night.
Good.
Is Kirk Cousins good enough to get the Vikings to the Super Bowl? Next on Ghost Talk.
You're just stuck watching OANN the rest of your life.
or
In a
worse.
field of pollen.
Or worse, Fox Sports 1.
NFL Network.
Is
Retirement's
J.J.
pretty
Watt a
good.
Hall of Famer if he died and became and played a ghost today? Find out next.
You and Gundy. No, your personal hell is just like you're in a large group of people having to wear the T-shirts that all the coaches wore, where it was like Football Matters. Where Dabo Swinney had the Football Matters
Sounds
during the Black
vaguely
Lives
familiar.
Matters rallies. And then obviously Gundy had the OANN shirt
I
that
think
had
you're
his
adding.
whole
Are you
thing.
adding in the
No,
N?
it's OANN.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it. All right. Whatever you
OANN.
say.
I'll pull it
You
up
listen.
right now.
You
I'm gonna
listen. I
give
know
you-
it's your favorite channel.
One American News Network.
Okay. All right.
So I guess it's OAN, but it's OANN.com.
It would be like saying NFLN Network.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
a fair point. Yes.
Rudy is just trying to get me in trouble today. I wish Rudy was a ghost for these last couple of minutes.
To be fair, I was trying to keep it to abbreviations.
That's fair. That's fair. Kind of an if you know, you know situation.
But you're wearing a T-shirt that says "Football Matters"
Now,
and running backs matter.
oh, even worse. Even worse. I
All
can
running
do
backs
is-
matter except Jamal Charles.
Oh,
That's what your T-shirt says.
I just have to watch, like, just college running back film, and even though I'm a ghost, I'm still publishing work as Joshua Brisco on the
You're
internet, and it's just
stuck
about how much I love running back.
Watching
Drafting
Kentucky
them early.
football, because while I like watching them win, they also run the ball 90% of the time.
I think the really
And
unfortunate
you're just watching a lot, and you're watching quarterbacks who are wide receivers actually, because there is no capable quarterback.
the unfortunate misconception
There's
here
some
is that
winning, but
I'm never gonna be allowed to like say that I enjoy watching good running games
Yeah.
and like good running backs and stuff, and I do. I just think that it can happen with James Robinson because
yes,
it can.
you have the out.
Pretty
I feel like your
easy.
one easy out is Kyle Shanahan, where
Sure.
you can mention him because one, it's creative,
Incredible
running,
running
right?
game.
It's creative.
Also with three
It's
dudes
taking
he found in the
mismatches,
parking
and it's a-
lot, just like
Yes.
like he just went around and said, "All
That's
right,
the only team you can say I like I like watching them run the ball.
yeah, because he went to John Lynch and he was like, "Hey man, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go just find 3 random running backs off other teams' practice squads.
Did you see?
And we'll be good."
Did you see the tweet that was going around, the story about him and was it Joe Williams? So basically,
About Lynch or about Shanahan?
both of them. So
Okay,
so
no.
there was a story, and somebody just I forget who retweeted this today that just like brought it back into the forefront. It might have been Ben Baldwin. Yeah, it was Ben Baldwin had this whole thing. And so basically back in at the 2018 draft, whenever like Shanahan's like first year was, he was like, if we don't draft Joe Williams, I'm going to die, even though he was not on their draft board. And so John Lynch traded up in the 4th round to draft him. And so he obviously is drafted in 2017, 2018, whenever it was, signs a 4-year contract, rookie deal, and then 4 months later is cut. A running back that
I see this
like
here
basically
now.
nobody like no team had him on their draft board. The 49ers did not have them on their draft board. And Shanahan went to Lynch and said, "I will." If I remember right, he said, "I will die if you don't draft him." I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact
I got it
wordage.
here. I got the
Yes.
specifics here. It's from an SI.com story. Right?
Yes.
Ben Baldwin tweeted the screenshots. Because also, this is something else we should talk about. The Niners apparently were offering a 1st-round pick for Sam Darnold, but the Jets weren't fully done evaluating quarterbacks yet, and it may have been a future 1st-round pick and not a 2020 first-round pick. I don't know. But here's what Ben Baldwin tweeted. He said, "Whenever I think about the 49ers process, I remember Shanahan convincing Lynch to trade up in the 4th round to draft a running back that wasn't even on their board. Joe Williams," said Shanahan in his laconic, unemotional voice, "running back, Utah. I looked at San Francisco's running back stack. I looked a second time. No Joe Williams. He was off the 49ers draft board. Yet, for the head coach, if there was one must-get player on the last day of the draft, it was the troubled Williams. I don't know what any of Williams' troubles were, so I'm making that clarification right now before we accidentally wander into some unfortunate waters.
Nothing on his Wikipedia page.
That's fine. You know what? Ignorance is bliss for this moment. We're not going to talk about it that much longer. Shanahan, I'm telling you right now, if we don't get him, I'll be sick. I will be contemplating Joe Williams all night, which sounds like a threat to his wife.
Yes.
Screw it, he said to himself Saturday morning. I'm going to try to jump up and get this guy. Early in the 4th round, Lynch, responding to his head coach, traded up 22 spots to pick a player not on his draft board. He's not on the team apparently now.
Troubled is a strong word. He basically, he calls it, when he was a senior at Utah, he basically calls it a retirement. He said, I just lost a bit. Basically, football had just become too much. The football, the stress, the physical ailments, all of it had taken its toll. So he, people said he quit. He calls it a retirement. Came back 5 weeks later, ran for 332 yards against UCLA, and was the MVP of their bowl game. So you could say it was a pretty good step away, but troubled's a strong word.
Does seem strong.
Yeah, the guy just was like, "Hey, I'm hurt a lot. I think I'm ready to move on with my life."
I think everybody here. I'm going to get to another Shanahan story momentarily. I think basically every single person on earth, if you said, "Hey, man, I'm going to get you a 5-week break." And I want to see how you do whenever you come back. I think everybody would come back glowing unless it happened like maybe mid-pandemic and maybe you're allergic to everything outside. You might come back shiny in my case. But I feel like that'd be good for everybody.
But since he was cut, he has never been on another team since. But 2016 Foster Farms Bowl offensive MVP. Flags fly forever, my friend.
Baldwin also tweeted, Shanahan willing to trade up to get a quarterback who, quote, processes the game so well and reminds him of Kirk Cousins. Eyeball emoji, eyeball emoji. Here's another snippet from this story. I got to get more information on this story momentarily. Back into the draft room, the team re-examined the wide HD draft board that covered the front wall. Basham went to the Colts at 80. There wasn't a player they had to have, but they'd picked up an extra 7th-round pick and an earlier deal, and someone suggested moving up from early in the 4th round to late in the 3rd, 5 spots up, to snare the only quarterback Shanahan wanted in this draft.
C.J. Beathard.
Iowa's C.J. Beathard.
Leap year.
I think it's Beathard.
Beathard's fun.
We'd all sleep a little better if we got him instead of waiting till tomorrow, York said. So they dealt for the 104th pick to choose Beathard, the grandson of former Super Bowl GM Bobby Beathard. Quote, he processes the game so well, Shanahan said. Tough as bleep. Got a chance. He reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins.
So what I've learned in this is that Shanahan, I think, is a good offensive mind, right? Like a good coach.
This is all from Peter King in 2017 on SA.com.
Yeah, can draw up the X's and O's. Dear God, never make him a GM.
You're right.
Or in charge of making moves. Dear God, never.
But here's the thing.
Again, if you draft good players, I think he can do a good job of getting the most out of said offensive players because I think he's a smart X's and O guy. But he cannot judge talent apparently to save his life.
Also, there are apparently a couple of people who have said that maybe the Sam Darnold 1st-round pick thing wasn't actually out there. I'm telling you, some people have said that it is legit. Some people have said that it's not. The other element of it is that there was a report previously where the Niners had inquired about Darnold, but the Jets weren't ready to move on quite yet earlier this offseason. Take it with a bunch of salt if you'd like.
My guess is if Darnold is still bad in his new home, then the person who wanted Darnold was Shanahan. And if he magically turns out to be good, then maybe it was Lynch.
Yeah, that's how it will leak. 100%. Oh, man. It's interesting.
Full circle back to sports.
I hope they didn't move up for Mac Jones. I know that it shouldn't even matter. I don't even really care that much. But it just seems like overthinking it, and it seems like trading what would ultimately end up being 3 first-round picks for Kirk Cousins on a rookie deal, which has value in fairness. Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Now, this evaluation is going to be tainted in a very, 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 very different way in this particular moment in time. But whenever the Chiefs traded up to 10, the thought was that the prevailing wisdom was essentially, hey, Deshaun Watson is a way more Andy Reid-esque fit, and everyone knew Deshaun Watson would probably end up being the best quarterback that Andy Reid had coached over his NFL career in all likelihood.
Yes.
But he was safer. and was supposed to was going to be
more proven. He played at a little bit of a higher level, won championships, all that stuff.
And was accurate in the shorter stuff, and had all of the sort of West Coast tools that you didn't really expect.
Checked every box.
Mahomes was a little bit outside of the box, and not necessarily the mechanically specifically excellent guy that Watson was. And obviously, Watson ended up being an incredible player as well. And then something else happened.
On the field.
And then the Chiefs trade up and they end up taking Mahomes there. It would have been, from what we knew at the time at least, it would have been as or more on brand for them to have moved up and for Reid to have gotten Watson in that spot. But they ended up doing it from Mahomes because the ceiling is higher. And Andy Reid said, hey, give me the dude that can end up in the Super Bowl one day, throwing the ball completely parallel to the ground. And let's go ahead and get a little wacky with it, and I'll figure out the rest of the stuff around him. I don't know if it's for the sake of nine. I think it's just because bad decisions make me angry or make me sad. But I hope that the Niners moved up because they didn't want to they didn't want to settle, which is what I feel like making that move for Mac Jones would end up looking like.
Yeah, obviously, if you love Mac Jones, because I'll never fault a team for being like, hey, we truly think that this guy is elite, this quarterback, and so we're going to go get him. I'll never really fault a team for doing that. Like, I'm not going to necessarily be mad at the Giants for drafting Daniel Jones, even though I don't think Daniel Jones just is that guy, because take your shot, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like with the Mac Jones, and honestly, like, this is not even a knock on Mac Jones, because I think he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL for a long time. He feels like a Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff type.
Yeah.
And those guys, which means Mac Jones will make $100 million plus in his career.
Jared Goff was in a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins was very close.
And exactly. And Mac Jones on a rookie deal, you can get to a Super Bowl. It just feels like though you are, and maybe maybe we're all wrong on this. Like I'm not an expert. Maybe Mac Jones will be great. He just feels like his upside is middle of the pack. Whereas maybe Justin Fields and Trey Lance aren't like, maybe there's a better chance of one of those two being worse. But it feels like their ceiling is just significantly higher. Like it just, I don't even think that's necessarily debatable. It's just whether or not you think they're going to, how likely it is you think they're going to bust versus boom. I think it seems pretty clear that their heights, it's just much more achievable. I was listening to ESPN Daily, and Trey Lance was, it was about Trey Lance, and he was just talking about how it's like, I think the farthest I've ever thrown a football was 79 yards. I'm pretty sure I could top that today. Like that's wild. The man threw, like, he went a full season. I was at the Division I AA level, but he went a full season without throwing an interception.
Yeah.
And I don't care, like, what level you play at. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's impressive, yeah.
Also, I didn't know this. Minnesota, he was going to go to Minnesota to as a quarterback, and then they hired P.J. Fleck. And P.J. Fleck was bringing in a transfer, and he told him, hey, we'll honor your scholarship, but not as a quarterback. You had to play defense. He's like, no, I'm cool. Something tells me.
Do you remember the quarterback that PJ Fleck brought with him?
I'll have to check. I bet that's pretty easy to figure out because it would have been at Western Michigan.
Interesting.
Because like that's gotta hurt, man. Like that has gotta hurt.
There have been a handful of those decisions made by college coaches bringing in their own guy.
Yeah, Tanner Morgan. Was a recruit that flipped from Western Michigan to Minnesota. So I'm guessing it was him. And maybe I heard that wrong, where it wasn't necessarily like a college transfer, but he got somebody to flip their commitment. So I know quarterback Tanner Morgan ended up at Minnesota, who was originally committed to P.J. Fleck. And there might have also been a transfer in there. What year did P.J. Fleck?
I believe you.
Point being, like at the very least, they gave a scholarship to Tanner Morgan over Trey Lance, who in theory could be the third overall pick.
Yeah. I think that the drafted quarterback philosophy thing is just really, really interesting. Because you see what teams you find out what teams value. Listen, man, the Bears traded up to make sure no one was gonna jump them for Mitch Trubisky.
They didn't want to take the risk.
Because they valued the sure thing over the riskier guys, and whoopsie-doo, he was not a sure thing.
Now, the funny part, like I said, I'll never fault a team for like trading up to go get their guy. The funny thing with that is they clearly fell for the 49ers ruse because nobody was trying to trade up to that spot from like reports. I remember like Mel Kiper, I think, even talked about that. Like he hadn't heard of anybody, or maybe it was Schefter, like trying to trade up. But, there's still a little bit of, hey, I get it. Play safe if you have to. Get your guy. It's just also a little funny that it seems like nobody was trying to trade up to 2 to draft Mitchell Trubisky. Or does he go in Mitch or Mitchell? I forget which one he prefers.
He prefers Mitchell.
Mitchell, yeah.
But I prefer him to
Mitch.
Complete passes.
Yeah.
So
we don't get what we all want.
We don't all get what we want. I felt like that segment was coming to a logical conclusion, but then Beard told us to break moments before I was going to throw to break. And Beard, I just want to have a quick conversation. I just want to check in with you.
Trubisky's gonna have a fun year, I think, in Buffalo.
I just want to check in really quick.
Backup quarterback in Buffalo is a pretty good gig right now.
I just want to check in with you. Well, and also if Josh Allen doesn't get more information about these ding-dang newfangled, doctors.
Hey, there's a good chance you're starting week 1.
Mitch Trubisky might be starting whenever Josh Allen goes to IR with the consumption.
He finally gets some weapons to throw to, like Stephon Diggs, because he didn't have much in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, name one great receiver he had in Chicago.
Jimmy Graham.
Beards, I understand that, especially in the middle segment, where I feel like we really got to make sure we get the clocks all lined up so we get out on time for the last segment and all that. I understand that sometimes we need a little help here, but we've been doing this radio show for a pretty long time all together now, and generally speaking, I think I really right now I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got at least 6 clocks within my eyesight at any
And Brad and I
point.
figured out that 2 of those are wrong.
And by a couple of minutes.
I
wouldn't use that one as but I got 7:30, 7:31, 7:30, 7:30, 7:30. So this one's a little fast. Maybe it's about to hit 7:32, but
this clock here is about 30 seconds slow, but I think that's good.
I knew that this big one here was a little bit fast. If it was 7:45 right now, we would be in a little bit of trouble. But I feel at 7:30, I can look over and think, we'll probably wrap up pretty soon.
I was done. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah, Rudy was wrapping up. I was wrapping up. I was about to fight somebody on Twitter, and we were going to have a nice, we're going to throw a break. Really, the only thing we needed to break was just
with what's Tanner Morgan up to?
You know what? Let's go ahead and pivot straight into our Chiefs offensive tackle talk.
Oh, Tanner Morgan's from Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah. He is.
How's that make you feel?
Well, he's significantly better than any quarterback Kentucky's had the last couple of years, so actually it hurts a little bit. Hurts just a little bit.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He's thrown for 6,028 yards. That's 6th most in school history. You know what? That's not too shabby. I still think Minnesota would prefer the third, a first-round pick at quarterback. Trey Lance still might have been the better option, but, could have been worse.
Do you guys know that a Suns win tonight would move them just one game back of the Jazz for the #1 spot in the West?
Sleepy, I'm a Suns fan now.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I take that back. No, Nuggets won by 20 last night. We're back, baby.
Oh, Nuggets are back?
We don't need Jamal.
That's exciting.
That's actually a lie. I'm still sad.
Well, we're all sad.
But we'll win a first-round playoff series easy.
Where are they seated right now?
Yeah, right now they're playing the Lakers.
You guys got this.
Yeah.
I'll be pulling for you. Let's go Nuggets. Let's go Nugs, all right?
Yeah. We're America's team now.
We'll talk to Ryan Tracy of Locked On Chiefs, RGR Football. The athletic matrix is out, and it is a beast once again. Everything Ryan does is going to be excellent. Is going to be coming through at an incredibly high level. And at 9 o'clock tonight, we will open Top Shot packs. I've got 1. Rudy's got 2.
Yeah.
Rudy keeps having really good luck.
I do.
I keep having really terrible luck. But the one that I was guaranteed to get that's going to have no cards worth anything,
maybe something.
I got that one at least. So we'll have 3 packs to open at 9. And you can watch those on the Twitch streams whenever we get there. Ryan Tracy in about 30 minutes. But because Beards reminded me this is a radio show that has commercial breaks, we'll take one of them now.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
If you want us, you're going to have to come looking for us. We're a princess in a castle. We're there, and we're doing a radio show just like all the great princesses trapped in castles. They're doing killer podcasts.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Maybe now we'll talk about the tackle class in the NFL draft. This time, maybe. I was also going through the athletic matrix again from Ryan Tracy, who we'll talk to here in about 20 minutes, and just sort of seeing how some of this stuff lines up. The handful of various resources that I typically flip through in terms of draft analysis have gotten me to a point of feeling pretty good about where I'm headed on this particular bit of evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also concerned that I might soon have to sneeze.
Ooh.
And it's just one of those sneezes that's just kind of hanging out up in there. It's also a time when you start pivoting around the studio and thinking, is there a tissue anywhere in here? I've got a napkin in my backpack. We've got a emergency
tissues in the kitchen.
Yeah,
like in, cabinets above the sink.
No, I mean, like I might. There's an off chance.
I have a drawer full of napkins back here.
I think. Well, the issue is that none of those are within my grabbing distance.
Nope.
So I think there's a chance.
You just sneeze on the. Just do. You know what, man? Just do it.
That I'm just gonna sneeze right into the little plexiglass divider we've got here.
Just do it.
And well,
that's what it's there for.
I'm not fighting it though. It's just that it's not quite.
It's like a sneeze guard. That's what it's there for.
And you're just a salad bar.
Yeah.
On the other side of this.
Exactly.
Rudy Salad Bar.
Oof. Nickname that will never die.
At that point, you kind of invited it.
It's a good point.
That one's not really my fault.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I am going to power through, and if at some point I stop mid sentence and Rudy starts talking, it actually might just be because he interrupted me. Who knows? Maybe it'll be him actually.
If you're about to sneeze, I'm going to get out of the way because I don't want to take away your moment.
Just throw my mask back on.
I never steal the thunder, you know.
No, you would never.
Never.
That's just not like you.
It's not me, man. It's just not me.
Again, just to clarify, both for you and for Chaotic Warrior on Twitch, who says just sneeze, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hold it in right now.
You sure?
It's just right. It just feels like it's 90% buffered.
Yeah.
But it's frozen at 90%.
Allergies. Pollen. Sneeze. Look at the light. Nothing?
Isn't that one of those things like it has
down.
to happen like quickly? If it doesn't happen quickly, you just don't have like the genetic to do that. Somebody told me this once. That like when you look at a light.
So the dude from the alley that does chiropractic for
no,
you?
So I don't remember who. Somebody here though, actually. I heard this here.
That's
so,
a Lebo. That's a Lebo or a Frank thing, 100%.
Yeah, but you know, it might have been Frank.
It's a very Lebo or Frank thing.
It was Mick. Mick mentioned this.
Interesting.
Yes. But basically, like if you look up at a light, and again, I have no idea if the science around this is true. I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. And you
I'm not gonna touch my eyes.
And you don't sneeze right away. It's more of a genetic thing. Like either you do it or you don't. Like your body will either do it or it won't do it.
I just had a yawn start that I'm allowing to let happen there because I wanted to just, if anything's gonna happen, great. My eyes are now watering.
You're just trying to get it out.
This segment's a nightmare. In fact, here's let me give you kind of a quick little summary of where I'm at right now, and then later in this show I want to talk, believe it or not, about Mel Kiper's picks for the Chiefs in his mock draft. Not something I expected to talk about today, but
Kiper season.
I kind of loved where it ended up, if I'm being honest.
Fishing for some Kiper.
That's nothing. The very top of the tackle class is universally Penei Sewell from Oregon. He's your top guy. He's either going to go 5 to the Bengals or somewhere up in that range. He's going to be a top 10 pick 100%. then I've actually seen a little bit of disagreement between Rashawn Slater and Christian Darrisaw. It sounds like Slater, though, generally he's gonna be the second guy off the board. And I've seen a little bit of disagreement here or there between Darrisaw and Tevin Jenkins, being the 3-4 guys. But I think for where I'm at right now, and from a variety of draft guides and conversations with people that have done more work grinding through hours of college film than I have, where I've ended up, and this could also pivot a little bit based on what you view Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC as. It seems like he's more likely to end up being a guard.
Feels like a little chief boy to me.
Just sort of depends where he ends up. Why did because Tucker got it.
Yeah.
As a notice of where my head is at right now, my first thought was, I'm pretty sure he's got shorter than average arms, and therefore he's not going to be a Chiefs. Oh, you meant it as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm floating
But
in
if
the
he
pool
has shorter,
right
if he has shorter arms, little chief boy maybe, little chief arm boy.
So I am more likely than not to put a cutoff after the top 4 guys, not including Vera Tucker, because I think he's probably not a tackle. Sewell, Slater, Darrisaw, and Jenkins, you could make arguments to me that, hey, those guys, if any of those 4 guys, by hook or by crook, by falling to 31 or by trading up to 20, end up with the Chiefs, they're probably your day 1 starter at left tackle. And I would feel okay about it. Honestly, I'd be a little nervous about day 1 starting left tackle for anybody other than maybe Sewell and Slater at this point. And even then, I guess the first time that a player takes a real-time regular season NFL snap and is protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side, that is the first time that he's taking the field. I'm going to be a little bit nervous regardless of who it is, but especially outside of those 4, maybe outside of those top 2, but also the Tevin Jenkins hype train is leaving the station, and I want to be on it just in case. But once you get to the next crop of guys, Samuel Cosmi out of Texas, who I know we'll talk about with Ryan in 15 minutes because he's athletically a freak. But once you get to the Cosmi, Liam Eichenberg, Walker Little, who will also come up later on, even to Brady Christensen and Dylan Redunds and some of those guys in kind of that in that range where it wouldn't stun you if they went early to late second or early third round, but they're day 2 picks for sure. Any of those guys would make me nervous. Again, from Cosmic, right now I'll use Dane Brugler's ranking from The Athletic, from his beast on The Athletic. He's got Cosmi at 5 and Redunds at 9. Everybody from Cosmi to Redunds there would make me nervous enough to say, hey, after the draft, even after that pick is made, the Chiefs still need to call Russell Okung, or still need to call Alejandro Villanueva, or really need to be keeping up with Eric Fisher's rehab. Because I would much rather have, hopefully, a heftier version of the Mike Rimmers, Lucas Niang battle on the right side,
For sure.
where you're recreating that on the left side with, let's make it, again, we'll circle back on this later, Walker Little competing with Russell Okung. And then even if Okung wins that battle, then Walker Little has a while to get his feet under him. Maybe it's a full season, or if Russell Okung misses some games, which he has done pretty much maybe literally every year throughout his career, he's frequently had injury issues. That's an easier pill to swallow if it's for 2 games, if it's for 4 games, if it's for the whole season. I would like to just see these rookies get half of a year, maybe 4 or 6 games, to not have to be immediately there protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side.
Kung played 16 games once.
That seems right.
1 year in Denver. He's played 15 games twice, 3 times actually, 14 games once, 13 games once, but typically has been known to miss a start.
And if you get him on a 1-year deal,
He's
then of
played
course
13 the last 2 years. That should be noted.
13 games would be fine with me. I would pay Russell Okung for 13 games right now.
13 total. The last 2 years is what I meant.
Oh, I see.
Apologize.
That makes
Yes,
more sense.
7 last year, 6 the year prior. So he had a stretch of 14, 13, 16, 15, 15, which, yeah, there's some missed games in there, but that's pretty good.
You said
And
half
then
a season is a tougher
6
investment.
and 7, yeah.
Sure. If it's him or Villanueva or whatever, or if it's a vet that gets cut from camp somewhere else,
For sure.
I am putting the cutoff after Tevin Jenkins, and I'm really interested. I know Seth is working on this right now, and I happen to know that he started by looking at Tevin Jenkins' film. I'm not going to tell you any more. I'm going to tell you that that's where he's gone first. I know he's looking at Tevin Jenkins' film right now. I'll be really interested to see where Seth's cutoffs end up being. For me right now, not even into the evaluation of what it's going to look like if they have to trade up for somebody, if they let them fall or whatever. I'm putting the cutoff after Tevin Jenkins for this guy still should not be alone on an island on the left side. Maybe the Chiefs think that Mike Rimmers could play left tackle in a pinch, but we saw them in a pinch in the Super Bowl, and he could not. Now, the counter argument would be that the whole interior would be better than it was. The right tackle spot would be better than it was in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Maybe the Chiefs think that was more a product of his surroundings than a true showing of what he looks like on the left side. But I know that everyone hearing me right now just went, God, I hope that's not the plan. And I'm in the same boat.
There's also more.
I hope that's not the plan.
There's also more evidence of left tackle not being his best spot, other than just this Super Bowl. Because there's another Super Bowl appearance where he played left tackle that didn't go very well. Now was up against Von Miller.
But
didn't go pretty well.
I'll be really, really interested to see how they end up propping up what the rookie will end up being and where that rookie comes through. I want to talk about Mel Kiper's mock at some point. I want to get into some more specifics of a few more of these guys. But we're also going to talk to Ryan Tracy here in 10 minutes. So we'll have a lot of time over the course of tonight's show to work through all of that.
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already. You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports
Sorry for the long pause. I had to sneeze.
with Joshua Brisco.
I'm still allergic to everything in the air. Spring and summer are Satan's seasons.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I hope this isn't a long allergy season. That's just where I'm at right now.
It sounds like it's like so. Like I obviously
Is there
like.
forecasting on this?
Oh no! I have no
Oh.
idea. I'm just saying like sorry. When I meant like it sounds. When I said it sounds, I meant to say it sounds awful. Then I was going off like to expand on it, like where I am. I love obviously spring and summer for the heat. Like I prefer heat to cold.
Right, because you're a
but
pervert.
like, but like
Can confirm.
allergies
And agree.
legitimately like sound just truly because like I've never the last 2 years I've had them for about 3 weeks in August.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not
But
fun.
like I don't typically have them. But the last 2 years I've had I don't I guess I don't know they feel bad, but I don't they can actually be mild. But I've just never had them before, and those 3 weeks suck. Like they are miserable. My eyes I hate my especially with like contacts.
Yeah.
I hate my eyes.
Yeah.
And to like
I
have
want
to
them to
and
just go away.
my dad's somebody like you has them like all throughout the spring and summer and like it sounds miserable.
And the one thing, and listen, if
I like
anybody's,
being a sweaty boy, but an allergic sweaty boy. That's not fun.
it's the worst. It's the worst of both worlds for me. If somebody's about to drop this in the comments, like feel free, but know that you're probably not going to break news to me. Although I did have a family member from girlfriend Renee's extended family suggest a specific brand of eye drops a year or two ago.
And get your shot.
And they, well,
I got a
here's the
hookup.
thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to come back around to that.
Now you'll have to get that shot at like around 11ish at night. So take that for what it is. But
So several things. One, what I was getting at is if you're about to say, well, the thing that fixed my allergies, you can throw them in the comments if you want. But if the answer is not steroids, the odds are it's
Yeah.
probably not going to work because
Yeah.
I am currently taking just a whole cocktail of allergy drugs. Sometimes for fun, I crush them up and snort them just to see it, just to try something different, just to feel,
Just
you
to
know?
really
Feel
get them up in
something.
your nose.
Yeah, because I feel like that, that's where the bad stuff's coming in. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm really good. But then I also have all the nose
you,
sprays.
Sometimes you kind of boil it down into a liquid and just put it right in the vein.
right in the veins. I've got the nose sprays, which sometimes I'll just inject that just for fun. I'll
Yeah.
drink it, I'll snort it, I'll put the nose spray in my eyes
Mix it with a little bit of whiskey and
and then put it in my eyes.
pour it right into your eyes.
I've got a little container of local pollen that I'll put on like a frozen waffle sometimes because apparently that's supposed to help for
Wait,
reasons
really?
I don't fully understand. God's
I thought
honest
this was
truth.
like a joke of like
Nope.
immunization where you just like crush up pollen on you and put it into your system.
No, I don't totally understand it, but Renee
Huh.
got it at like a farmer's market last year.
Did it work?
And no, but it's also kind of odd tasting, and I'm not like excited about
Don't love
doing
it.
that. And it's just, how often am I eating something that I want to put pollen on, and does that help? I don't know. I try it all, and it's just sort of the most likely outcome is that I'm gonna be kind of miserable when it starts getting warm out.
Yeah. Now you know how I feel when it starts to get cold out. Just a little miserable.
Now we both know how Beards feels all the time,
Good point.
just running this show.
I think that's how we feel.
Are you allergic to us, Beards? I'm not. You know what?
I
He's
don't think
allergic
so.
to good things. That's why
Well.
he plays Cyberpunk.
That wouldn't explain his allergy to the show though.
Good point.
That wouldn't really
Wait, we're good.
answer that
I
query.
mean, we're good, but his allergic reaction to us is what drags the show down.
I just think that I just don't think the show is very good.
Fine, I'm good.
Sort of what I'm getting at.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I'm Doug Brown. Padres shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. has been out for 10 days with a left shoulder injury, but the team is hopeful that he might be back tomorrow night against the Dodgers. The Padres beat the Pirates today, 8-3. Manny Machado homers and drives in 3. Baseball walk-offs today. Marlins and Braves tied at 6 in the 9th in Atlanta.
Stretch by Floro, first pitch. Line drive left field, there's a base hit, and that's a game winner! Dansby Swanson on the first pitch he saw, knocked it over short into left.
Jim Powell on 680 The Fan. The Braves get 2 runs in the 9th to win it 7-6. The Twins get an RBI single from Max Kepler in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Red Sox 4-3. That ends Boston's 9-game winning streak. Most players from the Bears, the Raiders, Browns, and Giants will not report for voluntary OTAs next week. They join a number of other teams making the same decision around the NFL. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Bulls All-Star Zach LaVine goes into the league's health and safety protocol. He's expected to miss several games. The Bulls canceled practice today. Giannis Antetokounmpo playing after missing 6 games with a left knee injury. He's on the floor tonight against Atlanta. The Bucks lead at the half, 64-52. The Dallas Wings used the top 2 picks of the WNBA draft to take Texas center Charlie Collier and Finland's Awak Kuir.
We're back on Friday, and we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. So who will suddenly become the top quarterback this time around? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Friday morning on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
It's like I'm trying to think of a good home repair project to compare the Chiefs to at this point. I don't know. We tried the WD-40, we tried the duct tape.
With Joshua Brisco.
Have you tried just hitting that doorknob with a fish?
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Efforting to get Ryan Tracy on the line. We'll chat with him hopefully sometime tonight, maybe this hour, maybe next hour. May have been some time zone confusion because he's a mountain man in the mountain time zone, and we're centrally located. So we'll either move some things around and talk to him soon, next hour, this hour. We'll figure it out. But what we will do at some point tonight is we will have a couple packs of NBA Top Shot. We have 2 from Rudy, 1 from me. And we can even spread those out over a couple of segments. We're just floating down a lazy river. But what we will do now is talk about the thing that I was teasing as a subject for later in tonight's show. We're gonna do it now, and we'll do it live. I, much to my own surprise, want to talk about Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft. And even more to my surprise, I want to talk about Mel Kiper's mock draft because I think it was good for the Chiefs. I have a somewhat feigned hesitance about it and sort of a tongue-in-cheek surprise, not because Mel Kiper Jr. is like Garbo or whatever. He's been doing this for a very, very long time. But generally speaking, it's hard for a nationally focused, 30,000-foot view analyst at pretty much anything to be specifically really intelligent and plugged in to a specific team's needs and tendencies and what their general manager's draft patterns indicate. It's just a tough thing to do. It's why doing national coverage is really difficult. And it's also why sometimes if you're listening to local radio, local podcasts, whatever, on a regular basis, whenever you get to a national team on game day or you tune in to a national show and they're talking about the Chiefs at one point, you're going to get frustrated because it feels like you might know more about the team than they do, and you might be right. So it's simply a tough game to play. With Mel Kiper's mock here, I think it went up yesterday, but I went through it all today. he made 2 picks that I think are really, really on brand for the Chiefs. And I think, and I'm also biased because it also is lining up pretty well with where some of my opinions have evolved towards throughout this whole draft process. So he gets to pick 31. And guys who have gone off the board at this point include Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Christian Darrisaw, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Tevin Jenkins in that order. Those guys went 5th, 13th, 14th, 17th, and 20th. Maybe a little smoke about the Chiefs moving up. We talked about that some last night. And Tevin Jenkins would be the guy within striking distance. I think if he goes 20, that's a pretty pricey move to get up that high. But then those guys all go, and then there's not a tackle taken again throughout the last 10 picks there of the first round. And we get to the Chiefs at 31. The Chiefs could take Samuel Cosmi or Dylan Redunz or Liam Eichenberg or Jackson Carman. But he has them taking Jason Owe, the edge from Penn State. I think I mentioned this last night. I did a mock draft for a radio show that I was on, and every pick was done by somebody who covered that team. And the time the board got to me, I thought I might end up with Jalen Phillips. I think he ended up going at 30, and so I took Jason Owe. Physical free. Let me read you this blurb from about Jason Owe from Mel Kiper.
Natural Mel Kiper over here.
Listen. This is probably the year more than any other year that I have gotten eyebrow deep into the draft. I don't really know why necessarily, partially because of Arrowhead Report, I guess, but I was also doing that last year.
Yeah.
I think maybe last year because I knew in my bones that we were going to get the running back season. I don't know.
Got to redeem yourself this year after
might be it.
The taser about last year.
I can't get freaking tased again this year.
Fun fact about Josh that I don't think people know is, like Kiper, he eats a pumpkin pie every draft.
Every morning for breakfast.
He has for 20 years.
Every morning for breakfast, I eat a s'mores Pop-Tart that's so hot that it burns my freaking lip, and a pumpkin pie. A slice of pumpkin pie. I'm not an animal.
But then on draft day, it's a full pumpkin pie.
Does Mel Kiper eat a full pumpkin pie on draft
I
day?
think so. I know he's pumpkin pie. I think it's a full pumpkin pie.
What do you think his poop's like?
Like pumpkin pie?
I mean, it can't be good, right?
No, doesn't seem
You
like it.
You can't eat a full pumpkin pie in one day and
like,
have a normal sort of.
And also, like, he does not go to
system.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think last year was actually the first time that, like, during the hours while the draft was going on, that he went to the bathroom.
Cannot be pleasant.
Can't be good.
I will mention this, by the way, though.
It's got to be like a week recovery, at least, right?
At least. This is an incredibly gross segue, but there is a pumpkin pie cheesecake that one of my aunts brings to one of my aunts. She's not a small bug, but is a relative. She's my dad's sister. She for Thanksgiving
Aunt woman.
the last several years for a while has brought a pumpkin pie cheesecake. It's just to die for. It's just stupendous. So that's how, I take Mel Kiper's whole deal, and I'm just trying to knock it over by like 10 degrees, make it my own,
Understandable.
It's like a good cover of a song. You make it your own, but it pays respect to the original.
Yep.
Here's what Mel Kiper wrote about Jason Owe. It has to be offensive tackle or edge rusher for the Chiefs here, right? The Super Bowl loss showed off some major weaknesses, even if this roster is still one of the league's best. Owe is an interesting case because his coaches raved about his athletic traits, and he just ran a 4.36 40-yard dash.
Seems fast.
At 257 pounds.
Seems good.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sacks aren't everything, but he didn't have any last season, and Owe could be the first FBS defensive lineman since Dominic Easley in 2014 to be selected within the first 2 rounds after not recording a sack in his final collegiate season, according to ESPN Stats and Info. Scouts rave about his upside, but I would still have liked more production. Here's my take on Jason Owe really quick again. He is a physical monster. The traits are there. Mm-hmm. He was getting pressure his final year, but no sacks. Of course, you'd like more production. You'd like more of the counting stats. I totally get it. Here's the thing, though. If he comes in year 1, he could come in and be the guy on third downs where you've got Chris Jones and Jaron Reed in the middle, and then Frank Clark and Jason Owe on the edges. And that front 4 will bleep you up on an obvious passing down. I almost cursed. I'm so excited about the idea of that front four. I would be very down with that. But is he a full, well-rounded edge at this point? No. You know what the Chiefs are not going to get at pick 31? A perfect football player, because they don't really exist at all.
10.
But Sewell is pretty close.
Yeah.
His arms are a little short though. But Sewell is pretty close. He's going to go in the top 10.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is pretty close. He's going to go in the top 5.
Jamar Chase seems to be the perfect wide receiver. He's going to go in the top.
He's going to go in the top 10.
10.
He's going to go in the top 10. The dude who just won the Heisman, Devonta Smith, is not going to be. He
Trevor
probably
Lawrence,
top one. Devonta Smith is probably not going to be the first or second pass catcher taken. They're not going to get a perfect player at 31. But here's what Elway does. You get that rookie year set up, and also, by the way, what does Steve Spagnuolo love?
Corners.
That dude loves a good rotation of pass rushers. Super close, Rudy. Very close.
Almost got it.
He loves being able to rotate defensive linemen. The more capable pass rushers you have, the more energy you're going to have, the less fatigue you're going to have, the more stamina you're going to have to think in some very Madden terms late in the game. Taco Charlton taking 50% of the snaps is going to be better in the fourth quarter than Taco Charlton taking 95% of the snaps. It's pretty simple math.
Logic.
Oweh can bring that depth right away, and his ceiling is at least second highest among edge rushers on the team behind Frank Clark and Theory. I'll repeat it for Siri. His ceiling is really going to be maybe the highest on the team, definitely second highest, Siri.
So you didn't trigger when you said Siri, but when you say Theory, did the trick.
That's very strange.
Anytime if I'm watching a show and in the show they say the word series, it always triggers Siri.
If they say, hey, in theory, then maybe we'll get it. So and then also, by the way, drafts are not just for that year. In fact, they almost should never be specifically for that year. Mm-hmm. Drafts are for setting up your future.
Which Andy Reid has been like, and I think this was we've seen it more in Philadelphia than necessarily with the Chiefs because he's had more holes to kind of fill with the Chiefs, I guess, more frequently. But a big thing for him has always been drafting, looking like I remember when they had Troy Vincent and I forget who the other corner was when he was with the Eagles, and they had an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler corner, and then they drafted with their first 2 picks 2 corners, and everybody's like, why are you drafting 2 guys? Because he was like, because in 2 or 3 years from now, these guys are going to be gone, and I need replacements. And those 2 guys became the starting corners for the Eagles like 2 years later. So like that is how Andy Reid typically approaches, or even with Patrick Mahomes, right? Like the plan was always obviously for Smith to be the guy for a year, and then for Mahomes to be the long-term guy.
And across the defensive line, there's even more opportunities to contribute year one without being a starter year one.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
Rotations.
We don't know. The point there being that we don't know that Frank Clark's going to be here next year.
Very true.
His performance this year is going to indicate if they want to keep his cap hit next year. If they think that math is worth it. He's not movable this year, but next offseason he would be. There'd still be a lot of dead money there, but that's going to be a bridge they can cross next offseason. That's another element of why I think Jason Oweh would make a lot of sense at 31. But, yes, of course, yes, what about tackle? Josh, tackle. Hey, Josh, do you think you're going to take a tackle? Hey, do you think the Chiefs are going to take a tackle at 31? What are they going to do at 63 if they don't take a tackle at 31?
Running back.
Please take a running back. So here's what happened in the rest of Kiper's mock draft. And again, even though I think it's really difficult to be expert for all teams, I think he, generally speaking, has a pretty good idea of where guys are probably going to end up landing. Super high variance, though. Don't bet your house on any of this. But then he has Samuel Cosme go 54th. Dylan Redunz goes 55th. Liam Eichenberg goes 58th. That one hurts a little bit because we're getting real close to Chiefs Town again here. Mm-hmm. Jackson Carman goes 62nd. And if you take any of those guys who aren't going to be there in the second round based on Kiper's mock, right? Any of those guys at 31 still has all the issues we talked about earlier in the show. Any one of those guys from Cosme to Carman, I think they still would need to add another tackle for 2021. like a veteran that you can have there and feel confident about. But you also want to, once again, be planning for your future. And in a really specific way here, much like the Chiefs did with Lucas Niang. Now, they didn't expect him to opt out, obviously, whenever they drafted him. But I think the plan was, in all likelihood, he sits for a year. Maybe he kicks into guard, but in reality, he's either stepping in for Mitchell Schwartz after 1 or maybe 2 years. They didn't know Schwartz was going to get hurt. They certainly didn't know Fisher was going to get hurt.
The plan, like, he has to overwhelm us for us to play him.
But
right?
he's
like,
going. But the plan was that he would eventually be a starting tackle on this team. It was just eventually.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're looking at all of these guys from that 5 on down section of the tackle class, all of them would have to occupy that space for one reason or another. So the 63rd pick in his mock, Mel Kiper has the Chiefs taking Walker Little, the tackle from Stanford. Here's what he wrote about Walker Little. It's a quote, "I've been watching Little closely since he started at left tackle as a true freshman in 2017. He looked like a first-round lock after the 2018 season. Then he injured his knee in the season opener in 2019, missed all of that season, and opted out of last season, which means he hasn't been on the field much. For Kansas City, this is a pick all about projection, as Little has the frame, 6'7", and footwork to be a future starter at tackle. Still, because he hasn't played much since 2018, it's tough to project his future." Now listen, you might be saying, Josh, give me one example where the Chiefs took a tackle who had an incredibly, who had first-round tape, then suffered an injury that either kept him off the field or hurt his play for a year, and then ended up selecting him highly in the next year's draft, maybe in the second day.
Now, can I ask a question?
Can I answer my own question first?
I think my question might help you.
Okay.
Did you just read, are you sure? Was that Walker Little's draft report you read, or was it somebody else's?
No, it was Walker Little's draft report. But I would forgive you if you thought that it sounded very, very similar to Lucas Niang's. Lucas Niang had first-round tape. He looked as good as just about any tackle in college football. Then he had a hip injury that he played through. For Little, I will start calling him Whittle if he does end up a Chief. Because that's just Walker Little shortened. But then it also sounds like I'm baby talking.
And like Whittle, you know what Whittle's like?
Sharp. You've got to sharpen it down.
It's like both wit and wit.
Bobby Whittle Jr.
We're all about the Whittles.
But you know what I don't want at left tackle? Whittle arms. Got to have 34 and a quarter.
Like Tucker.
I think Walker Little is like 33 and a half. He is up in the upper echelon of a pretty short-armed class.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say. If I've learned anything from this show, Seth taught me an extra inch doesn't really matter.
That's a great point. That is an incredibly good point.
If you're going to remember anything from this show, it's that Seth Kaiser.
When you already have an embarrassment of inches, another inch doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. And in this situation, it's like 3/4 of an inch. We're not even talking about a full inch.
A rounding error.
Yeah.
Oh man, it just hit me. We're gonna have a really good chance at a product integration in a little while. It's pretty exciting. No more hints. No more hints. No more hints. Anyway. It just makes all the sense in the world, man. You take... I think I had this... I'm now getting deja vu because I think I had this discussion about running backs last year, and this is not the same in terms of the position, but my logic is probably pretty similar. If you don't have to throw this dude in right away, which the Chiefs wouldn't if they signed, let's say, Okung, let's say Villanueva, let's say that maybe they have to start the rookie for a few games, but then Eric Fisher's on the phone. Whatever their plan ends up being. You get yourself a guy that fits your prototype, that checks your boxes, and who is there in the second round where you do not have to mortgage your future by trading up. You don't have to double down on any of these dudes and say, you know what, fine, we're gonna give you a third so we can move up 5 or 6 spots to go get a guy that may not be that much better off than whoever we're gonna see at 63. Just sign the freaking free agent. Draft the guy at 63 that checks your boxes. Let them battle. If Walker Little in this universe beats out Russell Okung for the left tackle job,
great.
That's great.
That's a good thing.
But if you get through training camp and it's Walker Little versus Martinez Rankin, and neither one of them perform very well, you're in real trouble.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs know that. That's why Mike Rimmers is back. He's there to compete with Lucas Niang, even though they want Lucas Niang to win that job. And frankly, I still think at some point we're probably going to see them add somebody, but maybe it's after the draft instead of it being in the weeks before the draft that I obviously have expected for a while now.
Which at this point I'm guessing, because like you would assume if both, like at this point Okung and Villanueva, whenever they sign, it's a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Maybe they're holding out for multi-year deals, but maybe that's why they haven't signed. But it seems like in theory, it seems like if they're willing to sign a 1-year deal, I'm surprised the Chiefs just haven't signed the one of those two that they like.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that pops in my mind is
strange.
maybe both of them are saying we're holding out for a multi-year deal. And maybe it's just Okung. Maybe they don't like Villanueva. Maybe they just like Okung, and he's holding out for a multi-year deal. But like it feels weird if one of them is willing to sign a 1-year deal that they haven't given one of them a 1-year deal, because it does not prevent you from drafting a guy, whether it's at 31, whether it's at 60. It just like you can draft that left tackle, your future left tackle, whenever.
Right.
And then with the hopes of maybe even with the hopes of him winning the job week 1, but if not, you like either.
But your season doesn't depend on it.
And if he does win the job week 1, and all of a sudden week 3 comes and he's clearly not ready, right? Like maybe he looks great in training camp, but real games are different, and
you can get in with one of those old timey hooks that you use to pull somebody off the stage.
You have an option.
You have
you at least like having options here. And again, at this point, we all wanted Trent Williams, obviously, but at this point, signing whether it's Okung or Villanueva doesn't prevent you from doing anything else, because like at this point, like the money, like you're right,
You're
the
also
money,
not cap strapped right now.
exactly, yeah. The money you have is the money you have, and it's not preventing you from drafting a guy like it just makes sense to add one of those two. And maybe they want to wait to see who's cut, but that feels a little risky because maybe then all of a sudden Okung and Villanueva are gone, and that guy doesn't get cut. Like that feels risky.
Spooky. Yeah.
But
if that is the plan, then and maybe hopefully there's probably a veteran who ends up getting let go after his team drafts someone that replaces him, but also they want to like give him time to go test the market that's not being an end of camp cut, whatever it may end up
maybe they're
being.
waiting to see who they get, because maybe there are guys who they think can start day one and guys maybe they think need a year. I don't really know. It does feel weird that they have not signed one of these guys yet.
But the biggest takeaway for me is that everybody, and listen, if they trade up for, again, I think Tevin Jenkins is probably going to be the guy that like the 2021 Bryce Hall, maybe. Last year everybody wanted the Chiefs to take Bryce Hall, which honestly I don't remember he fell off my radar after. I think the Titans ended up taking him in a either I think early in day 3.
I typed in Bryce Hall and American YouTuber popped up.
Not the same person for me, at least.
No.
Not who I was thinking of.
Not him.
I want to see he ended up with the Titans. I wonder if he got hurt again.
Bryce Hall, the corner?
The Virginia corner.
Okay, yeah. He's a Jet.
I wonder if they drafted him or if he's moved teams already.
Let me pull that up.
But he had the ankle thing.
Yeah,
and
for some
was
reason,
worried about his medical.
Yeah, for some reason I started going since we were talking about tackles, like wait a second. Oh no,
the corner.
So yeah, he was drafted by the Jets in the 5th round.
Okay.
This will be his second year in the league.
Right, it was last year.
He played in 8 games, started 7.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that we were all talking about him for so long that he almost ended up in the not quite Patrick Peterson level, which is also going to be Russell Okung and Alejandro Villanueva. Yeah. That class of almost Chiefs is going to be incredible. We could almost fill out a whole roster at this point of
Pretty
guys who everybody wanted to be Chiefs and ultimately weren't.
Quarterback spot's a little roughy because we're all just room for Trubisky.
That's pretty much it. But the Tevin, I guess it would probably be Deshaun Watson, which also at this point we're gonna have to let him go from our fictional team pretty soon. So that's not great.
So here's what I'll say: if you go back in time to pick 10, if you ask the majority of Chiefs fans, I think the vast majority picked Deshaun Watson.
It was close, at least on Twitter. Twitter was close.
I think
real life was probably.
I think some of that is right. Is like it's. I think most people probably prefer Deshaun because, and part of it's just he was in the national title game. But yeah, now we're at a point where it's like, oh boy, who can play quarterback for us because we got some issues.
We can't even fictionally roster him.
Yeah, we got some issues.
But the reason I got off that tangent is that Tevin Jenkins is the guy that I think you could make an argument belongs in either in the top tier or maybe he's in a second tier pretty much by himself, or he's there with like Darisaw or whatever. But he's probably the only guy from that crew that could fall to trade up range and could fall to 31, but we'll see. That's why I keep mentioning specifically Jenkins. But everybody post Jenkins is going to have the same issue. And if you think, I'm also not specifically falling in love with Walker Little. If he and Liam Eichenberg switch spots in Kiper's mock draft, which is 5 picks apart, it could absolutely happen. Whoever's picking 58, if they prefer Little instead, fine. All of this logic applies to all of those guys. I would hate to see the Chiefs overdraft for a position, though, if it's to take Cosme at 31.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad about Cosme at 31. I'm hoping if we'll either talk to Ryan and Tracy later tonight, and we'll try to get him tomorrow or next week, whatever, we'll figure it out. Whenever we talk to Ryan, I'll be curious to know what he thinks about Cosme, because he has performed so well in his in all of his physical metrics and everything. But I don't want them trading up for any of those guys at the very least. And we've seen Brett Veach do that. Brett Veach's biggest stain on his resume is whenever he came out and said, after making this pick, we moved up because we wanted to get an edge rusher of a certain quality, and there was a run on them, and they were coming off the board, and we thought that the last guy within that group was the guy that we went up and got, Braylon Speaks. And that was a quantifiable disaster. He wasn't even on the team last year.
He was never on the ground either.
It's a good point. I do love it when you remind me of that fact.
You think maybe he fell to the ground, though, when he got cut?
Rudy, what part of never do you understand? He's never on the ground.
He's never been on the ground. Except for those many. All of the highlights or lowlights that show him on the ground are procedurally generated.
doctored.
They're CGI. They're doctored.
Deep fakes.
They're all deep fakes. They were actually all clips of whatever defensive end went after him that clearly could not have been as good. You going to play that game? Yeah, go ahead.
What was the 2018 draft?
2018, yeah. But, like, that was a swing and a miss. They went up and got McCole Hardman because, and understandably, they weren't totally sure where Tyreek Hill's career was going to be. But they went up and got McCole Hardman instead of waiting for DK Metcalf, who would have been there with their original pick if memory serves.
Or at the very least, trading up for
He was
DK
definitely there whenever
Metcalf.
they went for Hardman. But my argument would be, hey, man, just stay where you are.
For sure.
And take and keep your picks that are behind you. Your scouting is probably not so pristine that it's worth that asset to move up. That's all. Look, man, I don't know if I would have been in that spot. Would I have taken Hardman or Metcalf? I don't know. I feel like I would have taken Metcalf, but I'm armed with hindsight now, so who knows? But you can let the board come to you, and if you say, "Hey, man, I'm pretty sure this cluster of guys are all relatively comparable," then let's wait and see where the board is at whenever it gets to us, and not lose another pick to do that same thing later on, so we can go up and get the third guy from this cluster instead of settling for the fourth or fifth guy from this cluster. Now, look, whenever you do have the tier cutoffs, I do think there's an argument to be made for, hey, we want to make sure we get within this tier of the tackles, of the receivers, of the edges, of the prospects. But, again, I can't help but think about Braylon Speaks being a guy that was in a tier worth trading up for, according to Brett Veach, which is, again, maybe unfair because it's his greatest professional failure. And if every time I did a radio show, somebody mentioned that ESPN Kansas City day on a Friday where me, Beards, and Charlie did the worst radio of our lives for 2 hours, I wouldn't like that very much either.
I need to go back and see if I can find that show.
I really wish you wouldn't. I think you should leave it as is. Because here's the thing, honestly, especially when you go back, because you're a radio pervert, where like bad is good and good is not that great.
That was a bad day.
I'm guessing that you're going to go back and through rose-colored glasses, looking at the past, that it's not going to it's not going to seem as bad. I just got an incredible text from Ryan Tracy. It is April 15th. Sorry, dude. Snowstorm. Phone/internet was down. Can go now.
Whoa.
Snowstorm? Let's take a break.
Living in the mountains, man.
Whenever we come back, we'll catch up with Ryan Tracy of RGR Football, Locked On Chiefs, and the Athletic Matrix. That's next.
Did you know you can listen to Almost Entirely Sports anywhere, anytime? Well, you can. Just search for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcast. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
We're in the pit of despair of the Chiefs.
I'm not a pit of misery. Dilly. Sorry. I don't even like that commercial.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You know that liner is old for two reasons. One, that reference, and two, that the Chiefs made us miserable at one point, once upon a time. So long ago. So many moons ago. Hoping to get Ryan Tracy on the line here. Dealing with a snowstorm in April sounds truly miserable. If we can talk to him tonight, and if he's on the line here momentarily or not, you check out the Athletic Matrix. Also, everything that he does. I mean, he just is constantly doing incredible work. You can follow him on Twitter at Ryan Tracy NFL. The only drawback to Ryan's work is that he has to plug internet cables in by himself through the many different mountains of Colorado.
When the internet goes down, he just starts climbing mountains to fix the cords himself.
To the satellite on the roof.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
and the roof is the top of a mountain.
Everything is the top of a mountain. Yeah. He's and he yodels. In my mind, at least, he's a yodeler. Just prancing from mountaintop to mountaintop.
Which mountains does he live in? Are we talking Colorado mountains?
Colorado mountains. Okay. Colorado mountains. Rocky
Colorado
Mountains,
people
perhaps.
yodel?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, I should know if Colorado people yodeled.
You could make the argument that yodeling is regionally specific. I'm making the argument that it's about if you are in the mountains, all of a sudden yodeling just becomes a part. Because it's the resonance, it's the echoing in the mountains.
It's like there are different kinds of yodeling, right? So like if a Colorado yodel, and maybe it's not called yodeling in Colorado, but like a Colorado yodel is probably a little different than I don't know if there are mountains in Montana, but then like a Montana yodel, right? Like you got different yodels around the world.
Why don't you do some varying forms of that while I try to communicate with Beards and also Ryan about his phone situation?
Yodel,
really put your back into it. Beards, what's the status report?
Really
still nothing through the snow?
The first time I tried to call, it was straight to voicemail. Every time since then, it's rang and then gone to voicemail. So I don't know. I think I've called about 4 or 5 times here.
So there are mountains in Montana. Many
All right,
of them.
Rudy, do some mountain radio. I'm going to try to communicate. I was just about to text him.
Beards, you're getting a call.
Beards, the phone's ringing.
Hey, Beards, the phone's ringing. Maybe. My guess is Beards never actually called him. That's my theory.
This was all just him pretending to call, just pressing buttons, going nowhere.
He was too busy playing one of his easy baby games. Just didn't want to do any work.
Have we talked about his Stellaris campaign on air yet?
I don't think so. And I think there's a reason, because it feels like.
Well, we're not going to do it right now.
Not going to do that.
We're not
what I'm
going to do it right
is,
now. We'll circle back to Beards' video games, but we got Ryan Tracy on the line right now. You can follow him on Twitter at Ryan Tracy NFL. Go check out the Athletic Matrix. The new one for this draft class is out now. It is fantastic. It's also his pinned tweet on Twitter right now. Again, at Ryan Tracy NFL. You can also listen to him on the Locked On Chiefs podcast and watch RGR Football on YouTube. Ryan, first question. A snowstorm on April 15th?
Welcome to Colorado, that's all I'll say.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I live up about 10,000 feet, so you never know what's going to happen. But, about 6 inches in the last 2 hours.
We had you up on a cabin rooftop, just wiring satellites together, maybe a roll of aluminum foil in your back pocket. How close to correct were we?
You are really close. I'll have to see.
Boy, that sounds horrible. Well, thank you for making some time amidst the snowstorm and also getting your power back to chat with us for a little bit. We'll keep it nice and tidy tonight because I want to talk a little bit about the Athletic Matrix, a few specific guys, a few specific things this Chiefs draft class is, or the potential draft class, I guess. But obviously, so much of our conversation the last several weeks has been about the tackles. They've continued to not draft or not sign any tackles in free agency. Before we get to the specifics of where these guys land in the Athletic Matrix, how many tackles in this draft class, top to bottom, would you be comfortable with playing at left tackle, protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side day one of their NFL careers?
Oh, maybe 5.
Okay, that seems... I think that's one higher than I was expecting it to be. So Sewell, Slater, Darisaw, Jenkins, Cosme?
Yep, you got it. I think Cosme fits and a lot of people will talk about that, right? But I think Cosme fits the frame of what the Chiefs have liked in the past. He doesn't have to have uber length. He's about 33 even on his arm length, but he moves his feet real well. He's got the athleticism that they generally drift towards, so I think that they can probably get that done with him.
He was also the guy that jumps out of the class on the athletic matrix. I wanted to talk to you specifically about him some, so let's dig in like you're doing through. I just got the picture from Ryan here. Oh my God! I mean, it just looks. If this happened in January, I'd be annoyed. That is
right.
It's the trees are beautiful, but you also have to live there, which seems less beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is what the internet's for, right?
Yeah, wow, I guess it is. My goodness. But so you've got Cosme performing incredibly well again across the overall the master athletic page of the tackle group. How impressive have his measurements been, and how much does that come through in his game?
You know, that's the thing that sets him apart is he moves well, especially when he is disengaged and he's looking for work. And that had always stood out to me whenever I watched them live or whatever. But it wasn't until I sat down and actually saw some of the footwork when I got all 22 of the college games that it really was like, okay, he's functional within their offense, but he's got more to give than maybe is on this film. And I think that's what separates him in terms of taking the next step and being one of those top 5 tackles that I think you could be comfortable with versus some of the guys that are more of a stretch, like the Forsyths is getting a lot of praise right now, the Hudsons, the Kermans, the guys that are clearly more developmental, not only in technique, but have not the movement skills. So I think that's a nice blend that you can get away with.
So now, I mean, within the specifics of where the Chiefs are at, it's kind of funny because it seems like pretty universally at this point, those first 4 guys are off the board. By early to mid 20s, Jenkins could be in a trade upable. I'm making that word up. A trade upable range for the Chiefs. Cosme probably there at 31. Let's say that Jenkins is on the board, but is probably going off in the early 20s. What would the difference between those guys be for you if you're looking for the Chiefs' next tackle? You're gonna try to see if you can land Cosme at 31. Would you move up for a guy like Jenkins? Would you wait until one of those more developmental guys and still circle back on a vet?
You know, honestly, I think that there is a lot to be said for the demeanor with which you play. And I think that's one thing about Jenkins that sets him apart.
Yeah.
I would not be afraid to move up for him. In fact, the more that I watch this class, I'm not sure that the prognostications or, all the mock drafts start moving players around. I'm not sure that the league sees Cosme as a top 30 player. So I'm guessing that he's a viable option at 31. That's my general feeling right at this minute. But I think Jenkins is worth going to get, especially if you're talking about moving up less than 10 spots. I think the cost to do so is probably acceptable to the team. And quite frankly, you can't say that there's a bigger aspect of their game that they feel uncertain about. The fact that they pursued Trent Williams that much tells you just exactly what importance and priority they put on it. So I don't know if it's even Jenkins. If they like Darisaw, I can see them going up for him as well. And I'm usually the one that says, hey, the value in the draft is in moving back.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, since the blind side of 15, there are no holds barred in terms of moving up.
Yeah. I think that's fair because I am very much in the camp of move back or at least stay put. And because oftentimes if you move up, it becomes even more important that you are dead on correct in your evaluation. And that's really hard. Like being that kind of precise is really difficult. But you're right. I mean, there is a number 1 need for the Chiefs, and then there's like a number 3, 4, and 5 need. But 1 and 2, and maybe 1, 2, and 3 are all protecting Mahomes' blind side. But with that being said, what do you think about the second, third, and really just the day 2, I guess, sort of range of tackles that could be there at 63, could be there in the 3rd round? That could, if the Chiefs have another option in mind post-draft for a day 1 starter, is there anybody or is there a class of depth from that range where you say, you know what, I think they could actually build something from one of these guys?
But there's one guy who stands out to me, and it's because of his track record, because of his film. He doesn't have the greatest kick. I think that belongs to Kevin Jenkins in this group. But he shuffles his feet pretty well. He seems very long in the torso to me, but he's a guy who hasn't given up a sack since 2018. And playing at Notre Dame, you get a level of competition that's confident. And even though I don't think he's one of the top 5 that I'm super comfortable with day one, I think Liam Eichenberg is somebody that they can work with. And if they try it for a year, especially if they do sign a veteran backup to left tackle, if it doesn't work out, I am 100% confident that he can slide into a guard spot, even if it's on the other side in 2022 or beyond, and be a player that actually puts out for you and does a better job than what you have there right now.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about myself whenever I feel like I leave the door pretty far open and you say a whole bunch of things and I'm just left nodding and smiling about, thinking, you know what? I might not be the biggest, dumbest idiot in the world, because a lot of this is making sense to me. I'm feeling pretty good about all these things. Who's a guy from maybe up in that range that you think is being overrated or over-evaluated, or you think, you know what, I'll go ahead and steer clear of that guy in that range?
Steering clear is a difficult thing. I think two guys in particular, Carmen from Clemson, Hudson Cincinnati, I think they're both a little overrated on what are a lot of common mocks and that kind of thing. I think the adjustment period for them is going to be longer. I don't disagree necessarily with their long-term projections, but in year one, knowing the Chiefs need somebody on the field, I'm less comfortable with those guys in the 40-ish range. Yeah. I would think they'd be more towards the 60-ish range.
Yeah, that tracks also, I think. I want to talk about the edges as well, because the way that some of these mocks have been falling, I keep finding myself looking at a guy like Jason Owe, who has also performed very, 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 very well in a lot of the athletic matrix sort of things. His 40-yard dash as an edge rusher is alien stuff, but I also know that a lot of those guys, once you're looking at the 31-ish range, everyone's going to have a red flag. Everyone's going to have some development to do. But are you as enamored with his tools at this point as I am?
I think he's a heck of an athlete. I'm just not sure if he's a football player yet, especially for the NFL level. I think he gets by on his athleticism at the college level, and from the film that I've watched, it's there. Like, I can see a path to getting to the point where he can dominate that edge, especially for some reason, in my opinion, on the left-hand side, which I like, especially with where Frank likes to play. But I do have to say, where he is developmentally right now is so raw that even me, a person who puts a lot of value in the athletic traits that show your ceiling, I still couldn't take him in the top 50.
Wow.
Because the value of that pick is not going to pay off for you in year one. It might not pay off in year two. It's going to take a concerted effort to develop specific football skills that can match that functional athleticism.
I want to take all of that and give it to Steve Spagnuolo and see what comes out on the other side of it. But I also think that if you just went, and then how did that go for Tano Passanio? I think I would put my tail between my legs and walk away.
Yeah, I'm not going to drop that one either.
It's just, I don't know, man. Okay, let's do this then. Let's go edges. If they end up, say, moving up for Jenkins, or if we end up saying, you know what, I like Cosme well enough at 31, and they go that direction, because I do still expect them to add an edge somewhere throughout this draft class. What are you enamored by if you get outside of that top 50?
Well, the hard thing for me is what I'm enamored by is a little bit more classic than what I think Steve Spagnuolo wants. He wants length. He wants power. You're not going to play for Steve Spagnuolo at 250 pounds. So it reduces the group in this class, I think. And I think really the value point may be in the late third, maybe even early fourth, especially when you consider the Chiefs are probably going to continue their plan of rotation.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you get Taco Charlton enough opportunities to take a step forward, as long as he can avoid the injury. I do think that he still has upside in him, and that step forward is on the table. So it comes down to who can give you, 15, 20 snaps a game as a rookie and actually produce something. Who can be the next Mike Dana, but maybe with a more dedicated pass rush element rather than the all-around that I think Mike Dana is. And both the guys at Notre Dame come back to me as guys that I think Spags would like to see what he can get out of them, especially with Brennan Daly in there working with them every single day. There's others. Deo from Vanderbilt, like the injury is really concerning, but I like some of the things I've seen on film from him. Certainly Osai is an interesting creature. The arm length is probably something Spags would really like. I don't know if the bulk is there or if he wants to modify a little bit. But there's definitely some guys that don't have to be a top 50 selection that I think may fit what the staff would like to see done.
I also wanted to talk about receivers, and one guy that I have just seen, this is mostly me just riding the wave that Tucker Franklin and Jordan Foote have put out through their many, many mock drafts. I was not expecting it to go this way, though, whenever I looked at the athletic matrix at the receiver position for the first time. Josh I, as I like to call him. His last name, it can be pronounced in a number of ways. Josh from Illinois. He shows up at the end of their mocks every time to the point that I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. I'm here for just a seventh round receiver to fall in love with for whatever reason. I don't need that big of an excuse. But his athletic testing looks like it must have been absolutely tremendous. Are you enamored by him? And also, how can he have the explosion that he does without being a higher ranked prospect?
That's the big question, is why doesn't that testing translate to the field? Or why hasn't it yet?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not say that it can't, because I don't know that. Mm-hmm. But that was exactly my question, because I came to him late as a prospect as well. And the only thing that I can see is that there's raw skills there, but there's not refinement there. And so I don't know the backstory of like how long has he been playing the position? Is he a late transition to that like McCoy was? Or is there just something in the way there that doesn't put all the capability together? But frankly, that's what the matrix is for, is to identify those guys that, hey, maybe you coach them up, maybe you get them in an NFL wide receiver room, and all of a sudden things start to click, or because it's their job, there are no distractions. Yeah. At least not like there is trying to go to school or anything else.
Right.
Maybe that's where it gets done, and maybe you can live up to that potential. But yeah, certainly late day 3, that jumps off the page as, hey, that's worth an investment to try to put that time in and see what that coaching can develop.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I love that, the little jump off the page that maybe didn't show up on film but shows up through the athletic matrix. Can you give a quick sales pitch on the matrix before we let you go, what people can see there and how they can find the other guys on these lists that you might go, oh, wait a second, maybe this is worth an extra shot?
Well, it's an interesting process. You know, I come from a strength and conditioning coaching background and an exercise physiologist, and so I've done this over 20 years in terms of tracking what works in different combinations of what the skill sets are at different positions. And that's what I do is I combine them. They are composite scores. It's not a percentile or anything like that, like you see a lot of other comparisons. And so you get a more functional idea of what they have to do on the football field, and that reveals a few things. And so by doing that, I rank them all out, and what the matrix is an athletic ranking of potential. Some that have been realized and some like Josh that haven't, right? Mm-hmm. So that's really what it's for. It does not replace scouting. It does not replace the need for coaching, but it gives you a window into what the potential is. And that's really what it comes down to. Then we pair that with the draft guide from Rogue Analytics as well and add in the production to complement what you can get from a lot of the professional outside scouts and people that put in the time of watching a lot more film than I do, which I scratch the surface on most guys. I don't dig deep. So you put it all together and it gives you a wider picture of what, not the stars are, but that middle ground, guys that fall between 60 and 130, that's where the gold is that can reveal.
I'm so excited to have this again by my side on draft day and be able to see what you saw and how the Chiefs use that and that information and the kind of athletes they find. You can also get more from Ryan through RGR Football up on YouTube, everything with Rogue Analytics. Find it all the links. Ryan is one of the guys that can rival me in terms of numbers of links and things in his bio on Twitter. So go at Ryan Tracy NFL on Twitter. Ryan, thank you for braving a snowstorm to talk to us tonight.
Thanks for the patience. I appreciate it.
It's always worth it. A good 15 minutes from Ryan will make everybody smarter enough to think that, you know what? I could right now, if I had to, fight a bear in the Rocky Mountains in the middle of a snowstorm.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB. City.
I'm Doug Brown. The Padres are optimistic that shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. could be available to play tomorrow night against the Dodgers. He's been out for 10 days now with a left shoulder injury. The Padres beat the Pirates today 8-3 in Pittsburgh. The Red Sox hoping to extend their 9-game winning streak today, tied at 3 in the 9th against the Twins.
And the 1-0 pitch, a swing and a liner, shallow center field. Bogart's going out, it falls, base hit. Here comes Louie. He's going to score, and the Twins walk it off in 9-4-3. A flare into center field, falls for Kepler.
Corey Provis on the Treasure Island Baseball Network. Max Kepler with the game winner. The Braves win a walk-off, too, against the Marlins 7-6. Dansby Swanson with the game-winning RBI in the 9th. The Mariners sweep a doubleheader at Camden Yards, beating the Orioles 4-2 and 2-1. All on Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Nets center LaMarcus Aldridge announced his NBA retirement today, saying it's time to put his health and family first. During his last game against the Lakers 5 days ago, Aldridge played with an irregular heartbeat. The next day, he was taken to the hospital. Warriors rookie center James Wiseman had right knee surgery today for a torn meniscus. He will miss the rest of the season. The Bucks beat the Hawks tonight 120-109. Drew Holiday with 23. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 15 points in 25 minutes. His first game back after missing 6 with a left knee injury.
It's Greeny, and Friday we continue to count it down towards the draft with Dan Orlovsky and Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly among my guests. Don't miss it. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco. On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Thanks again to Ryan Tracy. For real, follow him on Twitter at Ryan Tracy NFL. Check out RGR Football on YouTube is great. Locked On Chiefs podcast, everybody already knows about. And the Athletic Matrix is just, it's another resource made by somebody who obviously covers this team very closely. You ought to go support that. Lots and lots and lots of people are doing really great content right now. And the more that we support those things, the more it's going to continue to spark other people doing the same thing. And you can kind of, there's something that Justin McElroy of the My Brother and Me podcast, the McElroy Family Empire, said at one point that stuck with me, which is that you can vote with your dollar on things like content. And by doing that, supporting people like Ryan, you say, hey, I like this. I'd like more of this in the world. So you can do that. Just go to Ryan Tracy NFL on Twitter, or you can go to rogueapc.com. You can go over to the store. You can find the Athletic Matrix, buy the PDF. I got it open right now. It's great. All right. You guys want to open some fake basketball cards?
Heck yeah, I do.
So here's the deal.
They may be fake, but they're real in my heart.
They're not effing tangible, but they are going to be ours. I've had terrible luck at NBA Top Shot drops, but I did pre-order the one that everybody could get, which means they're going to be they're going to be absolutely worthless. But Rudy and I both have.
There are some that are now. I guess it depends, right? Like, I mean, like, I don't know what the high is.
You don't have to lie to me.
But like, there are some that you could easily sell for, like at least $50.
I got a $2 bill
And there might be some more, because there are a couple like rookie debuts, like the LaMelo Ball's like rookie debut.
Which
that
ball
one
is
might
he, Beards?
actually be like worth.
He's the smallest ball.
A decent.
He's the biggest ball, but he's the
decent
littlest
amount.
ball.
He's the best ball,
Yeah, probably.
but the
still
littlest ball.
Yeah, so the LaMelo Ball limited edition, which you could get, lowest ask, $1,400.
That would make me happy.
Yeah.
So we got 2 of those, and then also Rudy got a Cool Cats pack
Yeah,
today.
dude.
We're opening 3 packs of Top Shot.
'Cause I'm a cool
Which
cat.
one are we doing first again?
'Cause I'm a cool cat.
Rudy's common,
Okay.
Yeah, let's
not
do my
cool
pre-order.
cat pack.
Yeah, my pre-order one.
Rudy's on the 1s and 2s. He's gonna try to evaluate the costs of these.
Yeah. Now on these base set packs that me and Josh have, basically what we're looking for is
I got a
either
notepad.
players' first Top Shot, rookie debuts, or big names. So if it's obviously any limited edition, or just like big names. You don't want the continuous circulations necessarily, but if it's a Kevin Durant, that's not bad.
I might kill a
People
video.
will buy
It's
those.
struggling a little bit.
All right, you won't be able to see us on the video streams. You'll be able to see the packs actually opening. Just hide the video, whatever, to see if it helps.
Yep.
Worth a shot.
I'm curious. Wait, what's he doing?
We will not. If you're watching on video, you'll see the packs opening.
Gotcha, but you won't
will
see us.
hear us.
Yeah.
You will
Gotcha.
not see us.
That's fine.
We'll see if
'Cause-
that helps at all.
Gotcha.
We're
'Cause
gonna
I was
try
thinking
it.
to myself, I was like, wait, I can't see what's opening.
No, you can't see what's
Got
opening.
it.
I will keep track of the cumulative values of these. Rudy will get the values, and we'll open them as soon as the mood's right. As soon as we have the vibe in here being especially correct.
Yeah.
Which means we need the music. I'm dancing and no one can see it except for Rudy and Beards, which is probably for the best. All right, let's open the first one. Let's open Rudy's pre-ordered common base pack.
Wow.
That should be noted. These
24.
are both common packs.
Well, there's the Cool
But
Cats.
the
This
cool
is the base
Cats
pack.
common pack. Yeah.
We're
This
doing
is
a
the
base
common.
pack right now.
Well, I'm clicking it, but it's not doing anything.
Did you click on the open?
The word open is what I would suggest clicking on.
Yeah,
I
that'll
saw
do it.
a little. Did that do it?
Yeah, it did.
All right.
That typically will do the trick.
We call
Alright.
that user error.
Yeah.
Opening pack.
Twitch chat, get your various emotes ready to go. It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. So now you hit open pack. It's a little dicey. A little
Oh,
bouncy,
breaking
but-
news! It says that it displays the latest community sales in real
Ooh,
time. It
I
just
like
said right
that.
there. That would really
I
make
do
the
know that
segment
they
better.
made some updates to it, so yeah, we might not have to do the search thing. That'd be nice.
Rudy,
Ah.
important question. Go ahead, ask it, Beards.
Left, right or middle?
Better internet that made this work better. Right.
Well, listen, if we're... Yeah, and I would like for mine to have 15 grand cash in it. I mean...
Right. Show me limited editions or nuggets. We got... Honestly,
I see a Mavs logo.
Oh!
It's Luka!
It's in the top 5,000. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
It's a Luka assist. Willie Cauley-Stein
little
dunk.
Kentucky little action in there.
That's a Luka assist to a Willie Cauley-Stein dunk. That's pretty good for Rudy.
4,000. It's under 5,000 out of 35,000. Like that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that.
So Beards, that's a little bit covered by the chat. Is there a latest sold on there, or is that only going to be on another page?
That's probably on another page.
That might be next. Yeah.
All right, let's not worry about it then.
Let's go.
Hold on. Do you have a number yet? Or
I don't.
We'll cash out later.
Yeah,
we'll cash out later.
Let's see. I'm curious. Let's see what's next here. Yeah.
Love it.
Let's go left, Beards.
Going to the left, to the left. Click to reveal. I'm guessing it's nearly revealed. At least on Beards' screen. All right, we got a dunk of some sort.
Got a post. Yes,
Steven Adams is great. Steven Adams is fun. It's an okay dunk, but it looks like a pirate. It's a very high serial number.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Not, hey, here's the thing, this one's I'm not gonna like retire off this one, but you know what? Sometimes you just need some fodder for the collection, right?
Here's the thing: whenever you
just need to add a little something.
Whenever you are living in your mansion for billionaires, whenever this does make you rich, you're gonna have some moments that you keep to loop on the TV, and this is gonna be one of them. And you're gonna go, oh man, I remember Steven Adams. He looked like a pirate.
Yeah.
Steven Adams is great.
His whole
You
family
ready
is
for
like
the middle?
7 foot tall too. Like everybody in the family, they're like farmers.
Makes it worth even more.
And New Zealand.
You ready for the middle?
Let's do it. Come on,
Better
limited
internet
edition.
would be good if we had.
Hey, maybe if I hit big here, I can get better internet.
Paying for internet, Rudy.
Come
Paying for
on,
internet.
limited edition.
Another Mavs. Another.
Wait, did I just get the same one? No, it's a different Luka assist. Oh, that's a real low serial number.
It's another.
Wait, is it the same one?
I think you just got the same. That's Willie Cauley-Stein dunking again.
I got the same one. That was pretty cool.
Is that allowed?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a pack. You can get the same thing. Like, it's possible.
Hold on. What?
Do I need to click these again to make sure we got the same one?
Yeah,
No, it's the same
that's it.
image.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see.
It's the same one.
You got duped in a pack with 3. Hold on, listen here, NBA Top Shot, or should I say NBA Top? No, I won't, because it'd be an FCC violation.
Top snot.
You can keep the music going, Beard. It's fine.
You were ranting. I was
You can
pausing.
keep, that's right. The music can be here for the rant.
NBA
Listen
top
here,
snot.
NBA Top Snot. It's a pack with 3 cards, and you gave Rudy 2 of the same
Now,
one.
here's the thing. I can now sell one and keep that.
I mean,
that
that's
lovely,
fine, but
'cause
like,
so Luka Doncic, I could sell it pretty easily for about $50. It looks like. So now I can sell one for 50, and keep the.
it
keep the
worked
other
out
one.
fine. You can keep the lower serial
Yeah.
number, sell the higher serial. It worked out fine
Yeah.
for you. I'm not shedding a
It's
tear
not
for you,
great.
Rudy,
It's not a great pull, but it's a little weird.
but it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah. It's
Justin T. Jacobson on Twitch says, I've never seen a duplicate before. Chaotic Warrior says that's got to be crazy rare.
I've seen duplicates once before. Somebody got 3 Zions actually. They got 3 Zions all in the same pack, and 2 of the Zions were the same moment. So I have seen that, which is, but that's the only time I've ever seen.
All right, I'm going to leave this page.
Really
Is that okay?
wild.
Yeah. That's cool, Beards.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're doing Josh.
So it didn't show. I didn't see anything where it showed.
No, it didn't show.
But that's fine.
We're doing Josh next, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
let me...
so you think that Luka one's probably $50?
Yeah, the
Rudy?
Luka one's about 50. I imagine. I can pull up the Steven Adams ones while Beards is getting. My guess is it's 20-ish, maybe 10-ish, maybe. Even.
Or are these packs? Like 15? What happened, Beards?
This one, these are 7.
Because I'm guessing because you've opened. No, I don't know if that's true or not. Because you opened this, I guess in an incognito tab, it's not showing up in my selection.
Let's open Rudy's second one, and then I'll show you how the internet works.
Oh, I'm telling you how OBS is working.
And he's going to tell you how the internet works.
Oh, do you not have it screen capping? Do you just have it doing... I did that last time, Beard, so I don't know.
But we were also using normal OBS then, and not this fancy version.
Let's open Rudy's, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, the Steven Adams ones.
Let's do the cool
I
cats,
could probably
baby.
sell the Steven Adams ones for about $20.
Open.
Okay, so for the cool cats, let me pull up my Google Sheets here. We are going to get 5 moments in this. 4 of them are going to be base.
5?
Yes, 4 of them will be base sets.
Dang.
And then 1 of them will be the cool cats. Now there are 5 cool cats. There's Bogdanovich, goes behind the back for a floater, Atlanta. And by the way, the cool cats are players who are on new teams. That's what this set is. You have Charlotte's
I'll
Gordon
give you
Hayward,
$100 for the Chris Paul one already.
Houston's Christian Wood, Milwaukee's Drew Holiday, and Phoenix's Chris Paul. We
Boom.
obviously want the Phoenix Chris Paul.
1 through 5.
We want
What's
it.
your
We want a
number?
high serial number there, and then from there are 5 nuggets. So
1 through 5.
a Bowl Euros' way to a dunk would be real nice. Like if I could get a Bowl moment, it'd be real good.
If you get a Jamal Murray moment.
Rudy,
Yeah.
they said cool cats.
Well, see, he's not
Those
in
are
the
the
cool
base-
cat.
those
He's
are
a
base
base.
ones.
But if I get a Bowl, oh boy.
All right.
Okay,
What's the
let's go top right.
Number 3.
Got a Hornets.
Gordon Hayward.
That's
the
the cool cat. God,
You
that's
pulled
a
the
pretty
cool
good.
cat
It's
right
a
away.
pretty high serial number though. 27,000.
Gordon Hayward, post
2700.
glow up.
2,700. Yeah.
Big
2,700.
difference.
It's a little. You know what? I don't. Here's the thing. Like I don't hate getting to Gordon Hayward. It's a little disappointing because I want the Chris Paul.
I'd also like it if we could, if it would just show which one was going to be the cool cat, so you could just
Stay
save
away
it.
from it.
Just
But
save
there
it.
is
It's a layup. It's
there
not
is
even a
something
dunk.
about like having like again where it's kind of like which one is it and like are we gonna run into it? That is a
What's the
little
next
bit of
one?
exciting.
Unis are sweet though, and it's a high serial. It's a good serial
Yeah,
number.
it's a
so.
good serial number. Let's go bottom left now.
Number 4.
This one I could probably sell for about $100. So yeah, 75 to 100, pretty easy. Oh,
That's
we
a
got a
dunk.
Milwaukee dunk.
Oh, a dunk from
Lopez.
Milwaukee, famous big man, Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez.
On a
Against-
rebound. It's
Against former team Brooklyn.
more of a tip in.
Oh, it's on Kevin Durant, so like that makes it a little bit better.
Serial number is in the 21,000s. I'm not really worried about it.
I bet it's 20-ish would be my guess. It's got Kevin Durant in it, which makes it maybe it's a little bit higher up to even 30, but that would be my guess.
Next card.
Top left.
Number 1.
This music slaps, dude.
Very good.
Ooh, got Brooklyn.
Oh, my.
Jeff Green. But hey, it's a limited edition, so that you know what, limited editions are always worth a little bit more. So this would be a player's top shot debut, more than likely. That's what it should be, because the serial number's out of 12,000. So this one actually might be low key, like higher than you would expect it to be.
Number 2.
Nothing.
Number 5.
I'm sure it's nothing great, but
Jeff Green.
nothing amazing. Bottom right.
Number
Beards.
5.
Yeah, top sale. Lowest ask was $20. Top sale was $92. So my guess is 40 to 50, which isn't bad. Chris Middleton assist. Low serial number.
More bucks. Bad serial number.
Yeah.
Good play, though.
Really bad.
Good play, though.
Fine,
okay play.
It was only
Chris
and it was
Middleton.
to Bryn Forbes, which doesn't help. Like if it was to Giannis,
It was to Drew Holiday, actually. Bryn Forbes was there.
Oh yeah,
though.
he takes the outlet pass from teammate Bryn Forbes, passes it to a
All right,
streaking
I click
Drew
number
Holiday.
2.
Against the Orlando
Yeah.
Magic. Wow, what a play.
Well, hey, maybe I'll give it to Tucker. He's a Magic fan.
Last one for Rudy.
Yeah,
It's a block.
Miles Turner. A pretty high, decent serial number.
I think
but,
it's a low serial number. I feel like your terminology is cute. It's against the Magic again.
It's 5,700 out of 35,000 plus. It's decent.
I think I would say that a low serial
got
number
you.
is like 15.
Yes, got
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. This I mean, it's not bad.
So you got a couple of like.
I would say I've got a handful of like the Gordon Hayward's a pretty easy 75 probably, if not 100.
That was their best pull.
Yeah. Then there's
the site.
Yeah. It was also, and it was a good serial number. And then like just the fact that you have a decent amount of I would say, 20 to 50s. It's like, it's not bad. I don't know if there's anything in there that like I would just like sell right now because
Other than the Gordon Hayward one, right? And the Luka one, you get 50
All right,
bucks.
Rudy, I'm
going to
sign you out here.
they're not
So we can figure
yeah,
out Josh.
part of it is just like
sell a Luka.
what I'll do is like and maybe I will eventually, but I'll probably hold on to it for a little
Get
bit.
rid of a Luka. You can do whatever you want. It's your life, I
And
respect that.
Part of it is like if one of them like was like again like the Jaylen Brown one where it's like that's an easy flip. I'll probably sell one of the Lukas because I don't need 2 Lukas.
So, Beards, here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Can you just do a desktop capture instead of doing a specific window capture? Because that gives you some more flexibility anyway, as long as you don't have any passwords saved on your home screen.
Yeah, we'll see if I can do that.
Now, I will warn you that was one of the things that basically bleeped up my Streamlabs, and I was setting mine up, but I figured that that's what you were doing this whole time.
No,
and so
I've
now
been
I'm
just doing browser capture or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, all in all, nothing.
See what I can do here.
Nothing like super special. Jeff Green's first Top Shot moment is pretty cool, but nothing like great. Nothing terrible though. I mean, Gordon Hayward's it's a good serial number for Gordon Hayward.
So let's say that the
solid,
good number Luka one is $50.
Probably.
The lower number Luka one, we're gonna make it 25. We're trying to be realistic here.
Yeah.
I don't see a desktop capture option here.
Definitely is one. Number 20, we're gonna say with $20 for the Steven Adams one.
Display.
Display capture makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe 75 for Gordon Hayward. What do we think about Brooke Lopez?
I would say
tenor?
about another 20.
Uh-oh.
It's a little bit lower serial number than Steven Adams.
Is it a black screen, Beards?
He does it on.
Beards
Kevin
need more
Durant.
information than uh-oh.
Things are freezing.
Looking fine over here. Just looking at Rudy on this
I've got a
screen.
nice 18 moments now, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton, what do we think that one's
Like,
going
I'm
to be
really
worth?
stacking.
$10.
Yeah, that feels. It might be a
Well,
little bit
so-
more,
Windows
but I'm
crash.
fine with. I think I could sell it for 10. My guess is that there's some posts for 20 to 30, but they're probably not selling.
Beards, it's definitely not crashed because I'm watching Rudy on Twitch.
No, for me it has.
I mean, we are still currently live.
I'm
on.
watching Rudy on Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching myself
well,
on the
I can't
Caster
currently
app.
do anything on my computer.
Excellent. So I've got, let's say 50, 75, 150, 170, 190, 200, 240 bucks total.
I was gonna say like 200 to 300.
there we go.
Is probably what I got out of that.
The math that I just did got us to about 240 for
Yeah,
Rudy.
and I spent. Well, I didn't really actually spend any money because I bought both of these packs with the sales of Jalen Green or Brown, but they would have been $23 total in the 2 packs.
You're in the black. Not a loss.
Not a loss.
Beards, here are my options. How is OBS doing?
I'm
right now?
getting it finished.
Gotta
right
stop
now. We're
talking
good.
over. Hey guys, we gotta stop talking. Beards,
Well,
how are you doing? Listen, Beards, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing.
We gotta stop talking over each other. So, Rudy, you feeling good about your packs?
I'm
We've got to be careful about the crosstalk.
I'm just adding.
Interruptions
I'll
are
fix
bad
the
rate.
issue. There, I turned off Josh's mic. We're good now.
I'm just adding to the to my moments. I'm building my collection.
Probably a positive
Ooh.
choice.
Now I got a good idea. I'm gonna pull up that marketplace thing where I can like see my ranking, like how much my collection is worth total.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, we're
So
up and we're good.
I'll start working on that.
Is my tab over there working or nah?
It looks like it's fine.
Is it gonna be on OBS? Oh,
Yeah.
look at that! I see it.
Yeah.
Look at that. So, are you doing desktop capture right now?
Yes.
Excellent.
I had to open up the task manager though because everything else was frozen.
That
and
makes
it just
sense.
fixed
It was a nice
itself.
layup by Gordon
It
Hayward.
was I will say this, Beards. The stream itself did hold,
That's
even
good.
as the hardware
failed
was
miserably.
The spirit was willing, but the body was weak on this one.
All right, I'm opening the pack. You ready?
All right, enough of this bull bleep of Rudy's making money. Let's make me some dollars.
Okay, you want limited
Hold on,
editions. We
hold on
want
one
rookies.
second, hold on one
we
second.
want guys
Don't-
making their NBA debut.
You can open the pack if you want. Hold on, I gotta take.
We
hold
want
on, guys.
big
Rudy,
names.
gotta be careful about the interruptions. I'm
We
gonna take
want
this.
big names.
Rudy, we gotta stop at the crosstalk.
Names.
Hello. Oh, guys, I'm answering the phone. Yeah. No, make the down payment. Yep. For both of them. Yeah, baby, let's do it. What was there's a famous Childish Gambino line. My realtor, I'm talking to on the phone right now. I got a penthouse on both coasts, pH balance. I want both of them. You heard me.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them.
All right, let's open these. I just
Left,
listen, guys. I
right,
can't.
Says he wants both of them.
I can't make too many things too clear here all at once, guys.
Once. Both of them.
But I really need these cards to come through for me.
Left, right, middle.
Once. Both of them.
It's just hard for me to find the spots to talk whenever Rudy keeps doing a chant, sort of shark bait, hoo-ha-ha, like Finding Nemo.
Left, right, middle.
Right.
Both of them.
I'll just take Suns at this point. Any Devin Booker Suns. We're really behind on the stream now. I do think. Oh, that's a layup from a Raptor.
Kyle
Lowry. Up against Landry Shamet.
Ooh.
High serial number.
Really bad serial number.
Kyle Lowry layup. Well, the lowest ask is about $5. Top sale $1,500.
Left
Guessing you're closer to the 5.
or middle.
We're gonna go ahead and call that a $5. Let's go to the left. Everything I own in the house on the left. Hold on, really quick. Yeah. Hey.
Maybe you
Yeah.
should
Thanks for
give him
calling
the
back.
house on
Go
the right.
ahead and let's just do one of the houses you pick. All right. Thanks. That's a
gonna-
nugget dunk.
Oh no.
Jamal Murray.
Oh no.
Against the Suns.
I love it. I love it.
Beards, who won
I
that
want
game?
it,
Who won
though.
that game, Beards? What's the
I want
final?
it.
Denver did by 4.
I want. Hey, Josh.
We can trade. I'll work on it.
I need it.
That's the last Jamal Murray Rudy's going to see all year.
I need it, Josh.
It's not even Jamal Murray's
This
best
was
online moment.
the game. I'm pretty sure where we stayed here,
Oh,
like way later than like we planned on.
find
to watch
how
them in
much
the
this
game.
piece of garbage is worth.
Andre
Andre
Iggy.
Iguodala dunk. Thanks for nothing, Beard. Thanks
Yeah,
for waiting on
just-
absolutely nothing.
No.
Well, Ozzy lets you talk while it loaded because it takes a while for you guys to see it.
Well, I
take
wasn't
that
ready. I
long.
wasn't watching. It's in the Heat, the new Vice unis, and a sub 2000 serial number on this Andre Iguodala
I didn't
dunk.
receive the serial number. That's very nice.
That's 16. Oh, that's a 1000. That's a 1691
Ooh,
serial
nice.
number.
Your Jamal Murray was probably like.
Is there
$20
anything you want to
maybe.
see on this page?
Yeah, I want to know which one of the houses I should buy.
None of them.
That Andre Iguodala had better be pretty expensive.
No, which it was a Iguodala
Dunk against the Raptors.
169.
169.
Okay.
1691.
Top sale is $2,882.
The house. That's a month of rent maybe in the nice penthouse.
169. You could get roughly.
My phone's ringing. Hold on, Rudy. Hold on, Rudy.
there's a
Hold on.
wide- there's a
Hold on,
very
Rudy.
wide
Hold on,
range.
Rudy. Hold on. Yep. Hold on 1 second, man. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Rudy. Sorry, I'm on the phone now. Go ahead, Rudy.
Yeah. Oh, so it bounces between like 30, 75, 100, $69. Nice. I would say it's worth $69 because it's 1,069.
Pull
Probably
the offers.
recently 30.
Hey, Rudy, if you could hold on 1 second, I'm on the phone. Hey, pull the offers. Both of them. Yeah. Yeah, no. Oh, so there's a deposit. Non-refundable?
Oh,
Sorry, wait.
that's
The
gonna hurt.
call's breaking. You got it. You can handle it. I'm going through a tunnel. You're watching the show on Twitch? Oh, that's crazy. Twitch also must be break. You got it. Figure it out. All right.
So I'm in the top 37 percentile, and currently my account value is about $254. I've profited at $228. My return on investment is 876%.
Do you want to buy a house in on a beach in New Jersey?
I do
Is there a
not.
bridge to go with it?
Right now it's just a house. You guys can do it. You guys want to do a timeshare? You want to get in on a timeshare? You guys can split the cost of the house, and then all three of us will split the time that we stay there.
You know, not really. I currently don't have like a moment that's worth like a ton of money. But like I sold the Jaylen Brown one. That was the one that was worth good money. I currently rank 165,526.
I'll sell you the Jamal Murray highlight against the Suns
What is-
for $1.8 million.
What did you end up just naming your account? because JB Brisco
I think it's
was
just JBB.
was just bad. You were being a bad boy.
Just JBB, I think.
So your account value is $71. Your profit loss is $71. You're up 71. Oh, actually, you're just even. No return on investment. You're in the bottom 55 percentile. Based off the lowest ask. Now it doesn't. It just shows you lowest ask on here.
The lowest what?
The lowest ask. Most of yours are $6 or less. Except for the Kristaps Porzingis, which is 35. Now again, like the Zach LaVine, the lowest ask is $6, but your serial number is 2,623. That's probably more like $20 to $30. But it just goes off the low.
Right. So you are interested in buying the Jamal Murray one for roughly the cost of a penthouse in Cape May, New Jersey.
I'll give you $5.
I'll take it. At this point, Beards, do you want my computer or my laptop? I'll say my laptop for.
I got a $2 bill with your name on it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take it. That's fine.
They've now got like a live chat analysis thing where you can like message and like ask questions and like buy and sell stuff like live.
Ask if they want to buy a house in Cape May, New Jersey, on the beach.
Do you want to buy it? No, I don't want my account to be like hit for spam. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Feels like I get hit for spam real fast.
Well, I'm going to make several phone calls. Let's take a break and try to pay some of the bills around here because suddenly some of us have found ourselves really needing to either get a house right back on the market or at least just sort of change my identity. And maybe that way they can't.
It's pretty cool.
The deposit's non-refundable, he said.
You can see the sales as they happen. Like I'm on Gordon Hayward. It's that cool cat moment.
Yeah.
And so it shows every sale as it's happening for the price that it's happening.
Why didn't you guys let me buy 2 houses?
I didn't let you buy anything.
I bought 2 houses before even opening the packs.
Didn't let you buy.
For a base pack. Why didn't you guys stop me?
Anything.
This is really your fault.
That sounds like a you problem.
You guys should have been. You guys should have stopped me from doing that. Which is why I did put both of you guys down as co-signers on both houses.
Oh boy.
And so I've got good news. It means I won't go to prison. Bad news is you guys both suddenly have really terrible credit.
Oh boy. I wish I would have got that Chris Paul one. You might have been able to get me to trade Chris Paul for Jamal Murray straight up. That'd been a bad trade, but I might have done it.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have been the worst financial decision made on air in the last couple minutes anyway.
That's a great point.
Who needs 2 houses?
If you're waiting for the music to end, there's still 4 minutes of this left.
Sorry, I was just thinking about if I can take all the money out of my bank account without authorities noticing, flee the country, and try to rebuild my Top Shot empire in another country.
I just want a rare pack.
There was a
That's
pack
what we
that
gotta
was
get now.
that was $1,000.
Yeah, that one's out of my
few
price
days
range
ago.
right now. But if we can get into one that's anywhere between 1 and 200, easy.
Boy.
Easy.
Rudy, if you don't think you could afford
Not with real money, with my Jaylen Brown sales.
If you don't think that you could afford a $1,000 Top Shot pack, wait till I tell you how much you couldn't afford 2 houses. How much time's left in the music now, Beards?
Still 3 minutes.
Why don't you skip to the end, get the big swell, and then go to break?
Do you want to know who has the highest, who's the number 1 account on Top Shot?
Sure.
It's NBA Top Shot. They have the most moments. For whatever reason.
Gee,
there's
I
a
wonder
username called NBA Top Shot. They're number 1. Their value is $42 million.
Oh!
They own 16 moments. 16,000 moments. 16 moments. 16,000 moments.
See if they want to buy between 1 and 2 houses.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page. You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports
Oh, no. OBS, don't disconnect. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Damn it!
Oh, no. Did we lose Facebook?
with Joshua Brisco.
Fantastic. It's back. It's back.
Okay, good. I hope they heard you screaming.
Whenever it does that, I just have to hope and pray it connects soon. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right. It's completely outside of your own control.
Like everything in this building.
Everything.
The board decides to just explode. Can't do anything about that. Internet shuts down. Oh, that's out of my comfort zone.
I stop talking. Uh-oh.
I'm screwed.
You're screwed.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I was going to put my Andre Iguodala moment on the marketplace for $69 because the serial number is 1,069 and 1.
Yeah.
Which it's 1691.
Yeah.
But then I went to go make it $169 instead, just in case anybody wanted to be funny.
You never know.
And then the cooldown is now in place, so I can't list it again for another 9 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Once every 10 minutes.
So, wow, God. This is so useless. I have the box score for Andre Iguodala's game where he had this alley-oop dunk. The Heat won.
Yeah.
He played 21 minutes and 32 seconds, had 13 points.
That shows everything, babe.
And didn't shoot a free throw.
It even shows like their
had an
their
assist and 3 rebounds.
Scroll down a little bit more, you can see their stats, like the season averages and all that stuff.
He was drafted 9th overall in 2004.
Yeah. You got to know everything, Josh.
Andre Iguodala's hometown, Springfield, Illinois. Who knew?
I didn't.
I didn't.
I do now. I added that Luka assist to my Rudy's Wildcat showcase because it's got a Willie Cauley-Stein dunk there at the end. So now I got 2 in that one.
What's your other one?
Rudy's Nuggets.
No, what's the other Wildcat moment?
Oh, it's the Jamal Murray.
Oh.
It's the same Jamal
it in
Murray that I
both.
have that's also in my Nuggets. I got 3 Nuggets and 2 Wildcats.
I gotta be able to say, and this is Jamal Murray dunking on the Suns.
Yeah, which feels right. It's good. Feels good.
$500, you can have it.
Done.
That's legally binding. You can Venmo me, and I'll just send it to you.
$500 hairs on the way.
I think I said $500. So if you give me 500
$500
male deer,
on the way.
they're probably worth more than $1 a piece, right?
Probably.
I want to talk about A-Rod. A-Rod's down bad.
Yeah.
So he and J-Lo have officially
R.I.P. A-Rod.
Splitsville. And somebody named Kev on Twitter,
It's always a kid.
from Kansas City, Missouri, it says, tweeted out a screen recording of A-Rod's Instagram story, which is him video recording pictures of them, framed pictures of them, and then culminating in a picture that says Jennifer and Alex with a heart in the sand. Oh no! There's a gif of a blue beating heart, and he tagged her
Oof.
at J-Lo, and there is some Coldplay playing in the background. He didn't add it to the. It's just blasting through his speakers in his pad right now.
A-Rod, we've all been there, buddy.
Well, so this is what I want to talk about.
We've all been black. We've all had our hearts broken listening to Coldplay.
It's just blasting.
Posting on
Fix
Instagram
You.
stories.
Oh man,
We've
I
all
don't know
been
that it's
there.
Fix You.
We've all been there.
So-
But God, that's a good song.
Here's what I want to talk about.
That's a good song.
Here's what I want to get at
I
here.
like that song.
A-Rod and J-Lo broke up. After a long engagement, J-Lo's got more stones than Thanos at this point.
Ooh.
And A-Rod's still got the better end of this deal because you know what J-Lo got A-Rod? A new image as someone who was engaged to J-Lo.
Yeah.
Before J-Lo, A-Rod was basically Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds should go propose to J-Lo right now. Barry Bonds married? Doesn't matter.
Maybe. Maybe not.
He should just go propose. He should just give J-Lo a ring and just say, hey, I want to be on Fox, ESPN. I want to get into the Hall of Fame. I want a nation to love me again. And you, J-Lo, are the person who can do that for me.
Yep.
So A-Rod is clearly, again, down bad. But then A-Rod did the thing that I think we've all done in some form or another when you're down bad. Heartbroken, relationship, out. J-Lo, out that door, not coming back, probably keeping the ring. Still again, A-Rod got the good end of that transaction. But then A-Rod goes and buys the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, he's the Derek Jeter to some other billionaire whose name I will not remember.
Yeah.
But he's the celebrity face. He and J-Lo, by the way, tried to buy the Mets together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they had bought the Mets
Can't.
and then had whatever happened happen?
Been real bad.
Whew, that would have been the most Mets thing ever. That would have been so Mets. But here's I don't know that I've even got a specific answer to this. I probably do. I'm going to think about it. But A-Rod had his heart broke very plausibly because of his own actions, if you're going to believe a couple of the, rumors about DMing Instagram models or whatever. Who said that? Was that it? Who knows? I don't know. I'm not in their DMs. I just think I saw like a tweet about that. But his little pick-me-up is an NBA franchise, including Anthony Edwards, who's apparently never heard of the man, which is hilarious. What a normal, this is just a open forum around the room. I would love to hear from Twitch or any chat watchers right now, their answers. What has your post-breakup move been? Your most memorable one? Your most embarrassing one, the one you're most proud of, whatever you find notable. For me, I'm just thinking, and if it's not immediately post-breakup, maybe it's in sort of the revitalization, the fantabulous emancipation, as was a part of the title of the Birds of Prey movie. It was the Birds of Prey, the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn. Watched the first hour of that movie and then fell asleep. Might revisit it. It was fine. I was just sleepy.
Exciting.
Quick.
Felt like a rush of heroin through your body.
Quick sidetrack.
Actually, I think heroin makes you sleepy.
Quick sidetrack.
Like a rush of meth through your body.
I fell asleep in theaters both towards the end of Doctor Strange and Rogue One. I missed the Darth Vader scene that everyone talks about all the time, and I've not rewatched it. I just am sleep deprived.
I get it.
But what have you done? What have you done either immediately post-breakup or somewhere thereafter trying to really find yourself? A-Rod bought the freaking Timberwolves. Or he's the face of the group that bought the Timberwolves. What do you got, Rudy?
I tried to buy the Warriors once.
I want a real answer. I want you to bare your souls.
So I don't have anything embarrassing. I just shut my heart for like 10 years. It's like how winter is coming, but you don't know when. It's like the heart will open, but who knows when. It's gonna be a minute. It's gonna take 7 seasons of a TV show or 6 seasons of a TV show, and then when it does, it's not gonna be that great.
Here's 2 good ones from Twitch chat. Beards, I'm going to need an answer from you in just a second. Chaotic Warrior said, Human Torch said, going to Chipotle and enjoying multiple Trulies. Getting hammered at a Chipotle is a tough one. Oh, yeah, we talked about Club Chipotle with Allie. Absolutely. Yeah. Going to Chipotle and enjoying multiple Trulies is the tough one.
Yeah.
Wes Burns on Twitch simply said, Arby's.
I get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get it.
Absolutely. I've changed my hair enough over the years that at least one of those was a post breakup kind of pre getting my identity back together kind of thing.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know if I ever splurge on buying anything.
I am the shut everything down, pretend nothing bad ever happened person. Yeah, easy.
That's definitely.
So I don't
necessarily. Gotta be Beards' lane,
like
right?
I'm not doing anything crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like really I'm not getting in touch with my emotions. Just like, no, just bury them. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And sure, like at a young age, I'll probably die of a heart attack, but yeah, I'll be an okay ghost. Some people say that's when you really start living. Catchphrase of the movie. Once he died, he started to live. It's a tearjerker movie.
Human.
took
Nope, I'm screwing
time
this up again.
to learn about life.
Chaotic Warriors mentioned some vices. Some of them might not even be, strictly speaking, legal in all 50 states.
Alcohol with friends.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
Human Torch said, or Jack in the Box. Just depends on how bad it was. Wes Burns said the Jack in the Box tacos. I mean, that right there.
I mean, Jack in the Box is not legal in all 50
That
states. That is
shouldn't
that
be.
is a fact.
Beards, what do you got? I'm gonna give you one
He
more
played
chance to stall.
He
Here's what I've done.
absolutely played a video game.
Absolutely.
It's something video game related.
I have dyed a blonde streak into my hair, which looked pretty good if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I have dyed half
can
of
see
my
that
hair
working.
blonde, like down the middle.
I
like
seem to remember that.
left side was blonde, right side was
Yeah.
brown. I
Yeah,
dyed
yeah.
my hair
That's
black.
That's kind of
I
like
remember that too.
The half and half is kind of an anime look.
Really was. Honestly, kind of miss
anime,
it.
Big anime boy vibes.
Kind of miss it. I went from black to blonde, which also included a very brief stretch where my hair looked like a red panda. Like it was on my head. My scalp was bleeding. That was tough. I was too much product and like too many chemicals too
I seem
quickly.
to remember that.
Also possible. What do you got, Beards?
I don't know if I have anything. Is the problem?
At least Rudy opened up about him not really having anything because he's repressed his emotions.
Like I faked sick from. I remember this like when I was in high school. I just like I faked sick for a week.
Yeah.
Just like didn't go. I was just like, I'm not going to school.
You need a week.
And I remember like I just sat at home and I played the entirety of the first Assassin's Creed game. Like, that's just all I did for
That's
that
good.
week. Because I'm a 30-year-old man who's not in touch with his emotions. More in touch with his emotions now. Much, much more now. Not completely, still a little broken on the inside, but much, much, much better place than I was when I was 18.
You ready for my answer?
Yeah.
I went to a basketball game at my old high school. That's about it. That's all I remember.
Like, you were no longer in high school.
Yes.
You went back to your old high school
Yeah.
to just sit in the bleachers alone and watch a high school basketball game?
No, I think I went with my family.
Chaotic Warrior, I'm not attacking you. We are brothers in arm. We are in this together, my man.
Human Torch has steered the conversation in a different direction, saying, going back to the Fast and Furious talk from last night, if you start next week, you can watch a Fast and Furious movie a week and watch all of them before F9 comes out.
I just got a really bad idea.
Okay?
We're always looking for some weird content for the show.
I can't.
Do we
man.
watch a Fast and Furious movie a week?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Is there a spot to watch them all? That's
Maybe.
easy. Because that's the key.
Well, listen. None of us ever bought an NBA team. None of us
I mean,
had
I
that
tried.
good of stories. I'm sure I ate and made some terrible food. That's definitely got to be on the list for me. But here's what I think really sums this up. I had a few things, a few examples, and I tried. Rudy didn't really have any specific examples, but Rudy bared his soul.
Yeah.
Beard says bleep your bit. I'm not gonna say
I don't have a
anything.
soul.
My
I didn't have
shield,
anything.
my
Said he doesn't
shield is
have
not
a
going
bleeping
down.
soul.
I am just going to hold up all of these defense mechanisms.
Sad. So between Amazon and HBO Max, we could get them, but you would have to like rent them off Amazon. I'm not really trying to spend like $3 a week.
I was gonna say that I've worked with Beards now pretty much almost every weekday for like what now 3 or 4 years or something. I still feel like there's a lot I don't know about Beards. Rudy doesn't even know where he went to college. He doesn't even know where he went to school.
Nope, I don't. Do not.
I can tell you what state he was in when he was in college.
Arkansas.
Denial.
That too.
Sometimes I wish you'd just let me finish the effing joke, Rudy. Stop trying to cut me off with the true answer.
So he was in Egypt. Denial.
I got it!
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Nothing really does anything for me, or neither does a lot for me.
Nothing in this world does anything for me anymore.
Yeah, I was never
Rudy
really
Salazar staring into the void.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
This show's taking a pretty deep dive into Rudy's psyche tonight. Kind of worried about it.
Rudy, the okay ghost, with the okayest ghost you know.
Did you make a jingle for the show
It's like
about
Casper. Casper the Friendly Ghost. It's the Casper the Friendly Ghost jingle. It's Casper the Friendly Ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. But it's okayest.
It'd be Rudy, the okayest ghost you know.
Start chanting
you love
Rudy,
that.
Rudy, Rudy. I'm going to start haunting real fast.
That's true. All of a sudden making that joke.
All of a sudden, we're 13 ghosts in here.
Oh, man. I would not want
I'm
that.
guessing you didn't see that movie.
Nope.
It's horrifying.
Didn't understand it.
Truly horrifying.
Didn't understand the reference.
One
Called
of the
13
scariest
Ghosts?
movies I've ever seen.
I won't watch it. You know the scariest thing that I've ever experienced? Owning two houses I can't pay for on both sides of the country. We'll be back at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Until then, bye, Mom.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.